everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Big wave.
Sounds like you're like 7 years old for some
Sorry,
reason.
it's early here. Give me a break.
Anyways, welcome to Disguise of Axia, Off the Grid. No, this is episode... what episode? Or I'm sorry, Sod, what episode is this? This is
Seven. Episode
7. Wow.
7.
On Arvin Elrond's channel. Happy to be here. Hope you all are having a good day and will enjoy some excellent RPing as our intrepid Emberwind crew has now gone off the grid of Axia and into their own, let's say their own desires, which could be, well, dangerous. With me, as always, are Brahms, Valrathian, Jen, I cannot speak today, Jen, Brozek, Sahad, and Marie Balido as the players. And without further ado, let's get back into it with a quick recap. So after saving the slum of Gelspar, attached to the city of Adriel, at the powerful benefactor Kendrick Maddox's request, the party thought they were going to go back for some rest and relaxation when they were accosted by a rather large group of chasers, the powerful street gang that kind of owns Gelspar, so to speak. And after some tense words and some insults by Everest, they entered into a pseudo agreement to provide information as to what Maddox is doing. Of course, a couple characters already have little side notes on that too. The chaser group was led by a guy named Grinder, and that's all they know about him. And apparently he and Everest did not see eye to eye. So Everest apparently has a new mission along with his other mission of finding the person who slaughtered most of his druid circle. After that, Savoy was kind enough to have everyone come to her house for some rest and recuperation, where she had a bit of a visit with Piandra Makia to kind of uphold her end of the bargain that had happened previously. And it went so well that Pandra, shall we say, requested her to keep her eye on Maddox as he goes forward with his plans. Apparently, whatever he's doing, the Makia family wants to be kept informed. The others kind of spread out throughout her house, with Everest going to the library searching for information. Laureate went to the kind of display room, the furniture display room of the Savoy household. And Mama got a bath and a lot to eat. Let's just put it that way.
And drink.
And drink, yes. They were invited to dinner by Savoy's sister to show her gratitude. But first, they were interrupted by a message from the Maddox household inviting them to lunch to discuss kind of where things would go from here. And Savoy rounded up everyone and got them presentable, more or less, including dressing Mama up in a quite amazing outfit that she then modified to her own suitability. And they headed off for a truly magnificent lunch in the sky room of Maddox's mansion, which is about as opulent as the Machias, and you haven't been to the Machias yet, but he's up there. And Everest had a little bit of a taste from home with the meal that he was provided. And then as they were about to get down to business, the lunch was kind of interrupted by a certain fixer, smuggler, information broker. Hob burst in with a couple of his goons and wanting to know where his airship was. And when he saw Kendrick breaking bread with the people who took his airship and didn't return it, well, let's just say he was more than a bit upset. And that is where the scene starts. You all are seated at a white table in a white room with wall-to-ceiling windows showing the breadth of Adriel spread out below you. Hob has burst in with like 3 of his guys, and pretty much he said, he was shouting for Maddox, and then when he saw the group sitting there, he's like, "You!" And that's where we broke last time, and that's where we're going to pick up this time. And the first thing I need everyone to do is quickly make me an insight check, but I'll give you the choice as to whom you want to observe. You can either observe, you can only observe one of them. You could observe Maddox, or you could observe Hob. It's your call, but there's no conferring. I need each person to state whom they're observing at this point, and then make me the insight check right away.
Maddox.
Okay.
Hobbs.
Okay.
Hey, Sod, I think you forgot to give me my skill check back. I'm gonna...
that should be there. It should be there. If
hold on.
not...
Oh.
Mama, you were looking at Hob, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, that's a good start to the night. Let's see. Laureate said Maddox.
do I get advantage because he's one of my...
Oh, yes.
anchors?
If anyone with an anchor, anyone who might have either Hob anchor or...
So much better.
Wow.
I'm still sucking today.
Matic, and I have him as an anchor.
Okay, so I'd be at advantage.
Oh, let me double check. Did I send it to you?
Oh,
So
that's
yes.
good. All right. Do you want to try for the critical or just keep
I
the
didn't
5?
send you a skill thing, but the skill thing
You
should
know
be
what?
the same.
I think I'm gonna stick with the 5 because I actually.
Well, it doesn't hurt you to re-roll. You're not
Oh,
going
does
to
it?
still get the
Okay.
5.
It's
yeah,
a free
it doesn't-
reroll.
Well,
Yeah,
then let me try. Let me see
you
if I can.
automatically
do
take-
it.
okay,
No.
you'll- Everest, which one were you going to observe?
I was observing Maddox.
Okay. And then we need your roll, and let's see. Insight. Oh, you made it. Okay.
Okay.
No, wait. I'm sorry. Insight roll. No, you failed it. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I didn't think so.
So Savoy made hers, and Mama critically rolled on Hob. Okay. So we'll do Savoy first, and so you're observing Maddox, and you notice he's containing it well, but he's obviously not pleased at this interruption.
Okay.
A little bit
Not
of
pleased,
tightening
but
maybe
not
on his
alarmed.
knife. Oh no, he's not alarmed at all.
Okay.
But it's more like annoyance.
So this is not a setup by him, as far as I can tell.
No, as near as you can tell, he's kind of just as surprised that Hob had the effrontery to burst in on him while he's dining with other guests.
Okay.
So, and it's like, let's see, yeah, you got a 5. And actually, there's a little bit of surprise that it's kind of like, I can't. It's annoyance and a little bit of surprise, like, I can't believe he's actually doing this. Like, normally, Hob would not dare to do this to him. So it's a little like, So that's what you get. Malma, on your critical, for all his bluster and braggadocio and kind of like offendedness, you really get the feeling that Hob is quite unnerved at doing this. Like maybe his ego got the better of him and he kind of barged in here, then realized exactly kind of who's sitting at the other side of the table across from him. And he's still keeping up the front, but you can tell he's like, crap, there's a big part of like, what the fuck did I just do kind of thing going on here. But he's kind of like in for a penny, in for a pound, so he's just going to keep going. And he's kind of staring at you all down. But you could tell, you think theoretically, if you pushed him hard enough, he might back down. At the same time, a lot of times these criminals, when pushed into a corner, they also might come out swinging. So you don't know which way he's going to go. You just know he's kind of on the edge. So the question is, however you handle him is which way is he going to fall? That's really what it comes down to. But you definitely realize that he feels, although he's trying to hide it, that he's kind of in over his head here.
Right.
And before anyone can say anything, Kendrick breaks the kind of the shocked silence because you're all kind of surprised at this barging here. It's like, Hob, what a pleasant surprise. However, as I think you can see, I am already with guests. And Hob kind of takes a breath like, yeah, I know, I've been turning that drill up and down for them. They stole my airship and I ain't seen hide nor hair of it. And since they were hired by you, I reckon this is as much your problem as it is theirs. And he fixes him with his sternest glare, which isn't all that stern compared to what Kendrick can turn on and what you've seen him do. And Kendrick kind of leans back in his chair and says, do you now? Let's be clear about who works for whom, Hob. If the right word was placed in the right ear, your little enterprise would be closed down in under a fortnight. I want you to be aware of that. However, it seems that you do have some kind of claim. As you stated, I mean, for sure, this group did come back in a ship that was quite different than the one that you left in, correct? He's like, yeah, and if I don't get my ship back, I want that one. You want the chaser vessel? He's like, airship's an airship. Point is, I'm down one ship. A guy in my position can't be missing vessels. And so Kendrick kind of looks at you all. Well, it seems Hob does have a point, to be clear. So how are we to ameliorate the situation?
Well, I don't stake any claim to that vessel.
I wouldn't even call it the vessel. What he gave us was barely something that was able to fly.
But it got you there, didn't it?
Barely.
That's not the point. You all step foot on it, you all bear a claim at what happened to it. It's not just one and done. The way I see it, all four of you owe me for that ship. And at current costs, well, unless you guys can pull a big pouch of gold coin out your butts, I deserve recompense in one way, in either labor or in something else. So either you want me to impound that chaser ship, or you can come up with some other idea. But otherwise, I'm going to that ship and taking it, and you're going to be left in dry dock in Adriel.
Well, if Mattis can take care of Mala's situation, I guess we could give you that ship. I don't think we have a need for 2 airships.
Actually, out of game character, I believe Savoy was seeing if she could take care of
it's me.
Maddox never made the offer.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
possible.
That's Savoy. That's what I meant.
Mama's going to stand up. And
Okay.
she's going to stretch a bit. I'm going to give a smile to our host. And I'm just going to go stand right in front of Hob. Say, look, friend, from one airship lover to another, let's just be honest. That chaser ship's going to be nothing but trouble for you. Tell you what, give us a little bit of time to kind of file off those serial numbers and just get her in better work while we fix our own airship issues, and then we'll hand deliver her to you in better shape than she is now, which quite frankly is much better than that wreck you left us with.
The Gilded Drake was not a wreck. As I said, it got you where you needed to go. By the way, Mama, are you doing any kind of I mean, you're definitely taller than Hob in the first place. Are you doing
I am.
kind of intimidation, or would you like to roll for that?
I'm better at fast talk, so I was hoping to roll for that.
Sure, I'll give you that one.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. I
Yes.
believe your fast talk is pretty high, right? Yeah.
Good,
Okay.
good.
All right. He eyes you for a second, as if weighing your offer, and then Kendrick actually clears his throat. Says, "Well, that's not a bad idea, Hob, all things considered." And as the little man starts to splutter, he holds up a finger, and Hob obediently falls silent. In fact, this may actually, we may all come out winners if you give me a moment. And Hob kind of looks around you because you're totally blocking his view, like.
And the dress is voluminous.
Oh yeah. He's like,
Piglet and everything.
he kind of gets a puzzled look in his face. Well, what you got in mind there, Maddox? He's like, well, there's that thing we need out into the Western Azure. And he's like, he's like, oh, the Arlen. And then Hob gets this really scheming look in his eye. And Kendrick's like, exactly. I mean, look, from what these folks have told me, they're pretty adept at getting in and out of sticky situations, particularly in regaining the Gilspark crystal. I think they might be exactly the people to try and retrieve that for us, and then I think once that's done, we will come to an agreement, whether it's ship or coin exchanging hands, and we'll figure out how to get you recompense. But they pick up the Arlen, and I think that goes a long way towards squaring their debt with you. Don't you agree? Hob, he pretends to think about it, but it's very obvious that this idea has a lot of merit to him. You don't even need to make a roll for it. But he gives 10 seconds of like, well, yeah, if they can bring it back. I mean, it's not the first group I sent out there, and well, I ain't seen hide nor hair of the others yet. And he's like, yeah, well, look at the quality of people you hire. No offense to the group here, because I hired you. And he kind of smiles at that. But it is like, yeah, but what's to stop him from taking that ship and heading off into the wild Azure? They came back because of you. If they're working for me now, they got no real incentive to stick around. And Kendrick steeples his fingers and is like, well, what do you propose? I want to send one of my own along with them, just to make sure everything's on the up and up. And that way we'll make sure that they get to where they're supposed to go, retrieve what they're supposed to retrieve, and bring it back here all said and done. And Kendrick looks at everyone and says, that's up to you. Does that seem fair?
If they can't handle their own, then that's not good. If they can handle their own and stand with us, then yes. Otherwise, I will not allow a lodestone or an anchor to weigh us down on some important mission. So, can this person handle themselves?
Just 1 second. I gotta bring the darn thing up. He looks at the three guys around him, which, let's face it, are pretty much kind of like street brutes.
Exactly. I'm just like, look, if they're going to be eaten by the first damn fish that comes along. No. Otherwise, we're tucking them out the boat. I mean, so I don't say that aloud. I look like that, but I don't say it.
Right. Okay. And he's like, well, actually, he goes out to the hallway. Like, what the hell is he? As if he's looking to shoot one more person there, and he doesn't see him. Like, hang on, I got just the guy I want. I brought him with because I definitely want the guy I have in mind to go with you. And he goes out to the hallway. Hey, quit gawking at the hallway. Get in here. And the man walks in, and Savoy, you recognize the guy you saw at the dry dock, Talon.
Oh, the one who helped.
Yep, and he's in heavy plate armor. He carries a two-handed sword slung across his back, and he looks extremely capable.
Well, all right. If it's Talon, then fine.
He looks at the group, but he nods at Savoy and says, "We meet again, Silverhair."
Welcome aboard.
I didn't quite say I was going to do the job, but he looks at Hob. It's like, it's a simple escort mission. It's what I pay you to do. They're going out to retrieve something for us. You go with them, make sure it gets done, make sure what they're retrieving gets back in one piece. It's easy peasy. Talon looks at him and is like, with you, Hob, things are rarely easy. However, since you're the one lining my palm with coin, and this seems relatively simple, I accept. And Hob's like, darn right you do, mutter, mutter, grumble, grumble. All right, and he says, well, all right, we'll see how you do on this one, and then we'll talk. Chaser's ship is larger than the Drake, which you left behind, and certainly more valuable, simply because of its cargo area, so it may require more than one mission for you to pay off your debt to me. But for now, let's see how you do here, and then we'll reassess at the end. You bring back what we're looking for, and we'll talk. And you actually see Talon kind of rolls his eyes at that, like, God. But he just kind of looks and refers to all of you. It's like, and so Kendra says, all right, Hob, then you have what you wanted now. I'd like to finish our lunch in peace, if you don't mind. And Hob's like, right. Kind of shakes himself and realizes where he is. It's like, all right, come on, let's go. And scurries out of the room. And Talon politely closes the doors behind him, and leaving the five of you alone once again. And Kendra can't help with it, have a smile playing around his mouth as he kind of regards you all. It's like, you certainly do manage to make friends. Interestingly.
Should see how we make enemies.
From what I understand, your enemies don't stay alive too long, although it has come to my attention that you certainly attracted the Chaser's interest when you landed back at the Starlight Commons.
So I have a very special interest in one in particular.
The grinder. We mentioned him earlier.
Well, Avarice, I know you're not from around here, so I would give you a word of caution. The Chaser are rebel, but they're well organized and unusually disciplined rebel. I would think very carefully if you choose to cross them and how. They control much more in Adriel than you think. Their reach is much longer than you may realize. I mean, I don't fear them, but there is a certain amount of respect there. So I would just caution you to go forward with caution. That's all. You, of course, are free to do what you wish within the bounds of Adriel law as well. If the Order were to apprehend you in the carrying out of whatever plan you have in mind for them, there are certain things that even I cannot stop or make go away. Let's put it that way. I have my own position here to keep in mind as well, as do some of you, casting an eye at Savoy and Laureate. So again, I would advise caution in your dealings with the Chasers. We already have them on a leash since they think you're feeding them information. I think that's something we should keep open and moving as much as possible to distract them and send them off on other wild goose chases. So, anyways, but let's lunch is growing cold here. Let's finish that up. So, turns back to the meal and kind of more small talk after the interruption. As you're finishing up the still very excellent meal, He says, I take it to get Hob off your case, you'll probably want to be leaving sooner rather than later.
Honestly, I was hoping to get some information on what exactly you want us to get. You haven't really told us much.
Well,
Plus, we have an engagement tonight, so we'll leave at earliest tomorrow morning.
Of course. You'll have to bear with me. Hob actually kind of knows more about this than I do. I just know that this particular item that we both have an interest in is of interest to us. It's called Arlen Steel. And this was made, it used to be, I would say, relatively common a few hundred years ago, until the Calamity kind of sundered everything. And now fragments of it are highly prized in weapon making. And we have what we think is a line on where a fragment of it or a ribbon might be, and added to common steel, it improves it tremendously. So, however, as you did mention, Hob has sent more than one party out to try and get it, and no one seems to have come back yet. So this location seems to be rather hazardous, but I have a feeling that this group should be able to handle themselves.
Is this all based on rumor, or do we have any, is a ribbon of this the size of a sword, or the size of my hand, or the size of this table?
All I know is that it's supposed to exist. The location is what Hob has.
I assume you want us to ascertain how much there is and bring some back.
Well, all of it back. The thing is, I can't tell you how much there may be. It may be a yard. It may be an airship's length. I don't know. But Hob, he's many things. He's a schemer. He's a scoundrel. He's cunning for sure, but he's never been wrong about information that falls into his hands. After all, he did take you to the crystal. Just wasn't really clear about where it was located, but that's neither here nor there. And besides, you came out of it in one piece, so no harm, no foul. The point is, in all my dealings with him, the man's information has been accurate. If he says it's out there, it's out there. The only question is what lies between you and it. But that is what you are undertaking to find out. I mean, after all, those who have been inside a skyworm, this shouldn't be any big shake for you, I would think.
Uh-huh.
And
maybe
the area that we're heading to, is it a very well charted area? Or is it
west of the West Azure of Adriel? Technically it is. I mean, there are scattered fragments. There's some islands floating over there of their own accord. I'm not exactly sure how. I believe this location is among those, but again, Hob has been very tight-lipped about the exact location of it. That's probably why he wants his men to go with you, as he will direct you to where it's supposed to be. So that's all I'm aware of. Believe me, I've tried, but his price, well, he wants the Arlen Steel for himself, so we're going to have a conversation after that about how it's to be utilized best. For him, he would take and sell it probably to another buyer, but I'll have to make sure that doesn't happen. I certainly don't want any of the other houses to get their hands on it. As it's certainly extremely rare. I have not heard of any appearing either in the markets, the black market, or anywhere else for over a decade. So you have all the information I have now. And what you do with it, of course, is your business. And then when you return, as I have no doubt you will, then we will see about what will happen in Adriel proper. And the next steps we take now that Gelspar is secure, and what to do about the Celestial Plateau and those in it. But that is a matter for another day. If you have other pressing business. It's not quite a overture to close the lunch, but he does recognize that you have other scheduled business to attend to this evening. So unless there's anything else anyone wishes to discuss.
I wish to speak in private, Kendrick, if that's okay with you.
He looks at the other three, assuming your other party members don't object. That would be fine.
I want a word with Savoy, so.
Yep.
I'll meet you guys outside after, and then we can move on.
All right.
Everest, did you have anything to tackle before you leave, or are you going to head out too?
After I complete this last mission, I do want to call in that favor. about that particular woman I am looking for?
Machinations are already in play regarding looking for her. So as of yet, I have no new information, but Jill, if she is or has passed through Adriel at some point, my contacts should be able to unearth that information. So already in hand, my friend.
Very well. Then business is concluded.
Excellent.
And
I
he'll
look
get up.
forward. Yep, he will get up and take off.
Just
All right. Yep, exactly. All right.
Hey, Marie, do you want us to have our chat in private in the Zoom group chat thing, or did you want to talk that out?
Oh no.
No.
I'll be splitting the group. That'll be happening on camera.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good
Yep.
with camera.
No private
it
conversations.
out.
We're gonna do
Talk it
Laureate and Kendrick first, and then we will transition over to Savoy and Malma.
Gotcha.
So after everyone's gone, and while they're gone, the servants come in and whisk everything away, and the table's perfectly clear. And he says, "More wine? Something stronger? Tea, perhaps?"
This is fine, thanks.
They deliver him a goblet of something, and he takes a sip. So, by all means, Laureate, you have the floor.
Our interaction with Grinder unveiled some other information. They are working for another council member. I don't know who. I believe it could possibly be the one that's hired me to keep an eye on you.
Out of gameplay side, have you revealed that a council member hired you before, or is this the first time you said that?
That's the first time I've said it to
Okay.
Kendrick.
Okay, excellent. All right. He doesn't look all that surprised, although it's like interesting. And which member might that be?
That's what I was hoping to find out when I met my contact after this meeting we've just had. Problem is, though, is I feel like if I don't have the right information, I may not be able to have a direct meeting with my whoever it is who wants whatever it is they want from you, or maybe they're trying to find dirt on you.
Oh, they're looking for a bit of information they could
They
leverage.
definitely have the chasers on their side.
Quite. If the chasers came after you to get the crystal. In other words, if they were seen as the saviors of Gelspar, it would ally the populace with them instead of me, and then thereby casting me in a negative light, as if I could not keep what I had gone out to do, even though they were supposed to be under my employ. So they're playing a dangerous long game for sure.
It's strange. The chasers are known for being quite aggressive, and they let us off quite easily. So I'm a little bit worried there.
Well, the information is as good as gold in Adriel. I mean, you of all people know that as well. Okay. So do not think they're not going to lean on you heavily to get whatever information you can prize out of me. And he puts information in quotes. What kind of information you can prize out of me? Because they will be wanting to utilize that pipeline they think they have, and utilize it heavily. It would not surprise me if they try to get contact with you in the next 24 hours, starting to demand whatever knowledge you have. So in that case, he kind of steeples his fingers again. Is like, well, we should give them something, shouldn't
I'll
we?
need something quite. What would be the best way to describe this? Unique, maybe? Something that'll pique their interest.
Correct.
And I can find out who exactly this specific member of the council who has it in for you.
Yes. Well, if it is a council member, as you suspect, they're not going to reveal themselves until you have proven your worth. However, I do have an idea. Tell them that the Maddox house has entered into a partnership with the Destasi merchant clan to bring in a shipment, and he scribbles down an address in the docks near the Red Market. And they're we are bringing a joint shipment between our houses of valuables. You can make up whatever you wish in there. It doesn't really matter. Nothing illegal though, but high-end items. And I will send that. Let's see. I can't know. We need it to be real. The warehouse is owned under a holding corporation by my company. So therefore, if they do hit it and get something, I will have enough there to whet their appetite, make it seem that your information is solid, and therefore get you in deeper with them. Hopefully they can start rising you up the chain there. Does that make sense, Laureate?
Sounds good.
Okay. I wish you to be aware, of course, that it can be a hazardous game you are playing. So keep your wits about you, and keep me apprised of any move you wish to make, just in case. I would hesitate to see anything happen to you. Your knowledge about the hearth crystals, I am aware, cannot be understated. And to put you in this position, I have my own misgivings. However, you are volunteering, which I appreciate. And we need to uncover exactly who is behind these schemes to take out Gelspar, and no matter what their claim is to improve Adriel. And you guys told Maddox about the Silverglades incident too, right?
Maddox. Oh no, that's actually what I was going to talk about next. Was that
okay? All right.
And speaking of issues, I think we briefly went about it.
I think you mentioned it at lunch, if I'm not mistaken. I'm a little fuzzy on that, to be quite honest, but I thought it was like briefly mentioned. So if you want to bring back around to it, now is probably the best time to do so.
So I actually, if you don't mind, and I pull out my satchel and just pull out the bomb and put on the table. This device was placed.
Well, there's been many things brought into this room, but that's the first time an explosive device has really been in here.
It's not armed. Don't worry.
Okay, that was technically going to be my next question. He just kind of looks at it with surprise. He doesn't lean backward. He was like, "Okay." And how did you come into possession of such a device?
As we were leaving the headless statue, I forget the name of it. We headed the shortest path possible using the lifts near the Silverglades, and we encountered a group that were claiming to be part of the council, but seems that they were placing these bombs at just strategic locations at the lift. And
I'm sorry, claimed to be part of the council. How so?
They didn't really explain much. As soon as we tried to question them or word our way around, they just attacked immediately.
How do you know they were with the council?
Oh, I don't think they were. I actually think they're part of Summit. Summit wants the Silverglades.
Okay, hold on. Slow down.
And I'll pull out a bunch of the coins from the Summit coins and just like toss them on the table towards him.
And then one of them, like the pouch spills open and a coin rolls over to his hand, which he snatches up like
every single member.
This is the Zenith from Summit.
Yes, that's the only currency they had on them.
Describe this group. How many? What did they look like?
There were
and how did they fight?
3 of them. All of them were arcane users, and they had the ability to summon creatures. Slither spines.
By the way, a thing I forgot to mention is when they moved, they teleported. They did not walk to their directions. They would like portal in and out and do a quick jump.
Their arcane abilities were unmatched.
We also did say that they said you aren't from the council.
Right. Yeah, and Laurie, you'd remember that. They actually mentioned council. So exactly. So it's like, so someone on the council hired Rift Keepers to, and he puts at the bomb.
Or some members of Summit used.
Well, no, I recognize, from what you tell me, I recognize the robes, and the robes were dark purple as well. So I recognize them. It's a group called the Rift Keepers. They have mastered Rift summoning, and also they use it, as you said, as a means of localized teleportation. That is very interesting.
I don't know if this is part of the same.
Unnerving.
I hope this isn't part of the same council member that we are trying to deal with
Well,
right now.
That is the problem. There are many nobles, and this could be another group. So yours could be one. Everyone is looking at everyone with smiles on their faces and daggers behind their backs, looking for any bit of leverage. But to take out the Silverglades, I mean, yes, it's deserted now, but I know there are people who are working on trying to make it habitable. Adriel is reaching the limits of its expansion. That kind of land, even if we raised it to dirt and recolonized it, would still be immensely valuable. To just cast it off makes no sense. Same thing with Gelspar. I mean, I have every intent of not just saving Gelspar, but rehabilitating it.
Which is why
It will
I think
take a long time.
Why would the council want that then? That seems counterintuitive.
Well, there are those.
They wanted it
Right.
10 years ago. I mean, like, sure that the incident caused them to
Well,
rethink.
Land is land, but there are some that think that Gelspar is beyond saving, that there is no hope down in the slum. I disagree. People only need the right to be set on the right path to lead them out of their situation. And Adriel has turned a blind eye to Gelspar for far too long. The Silverglades, well, to be honest, Laureate, that is more your matter of expertise than mine. But again, land is land. And we, as you know, I mean, we're not overcrowded, but to simply want to cast off the Silverglades without even trying to convert it into usable land space does not make any sense to me. So that is another mission that we are going to have to uncover, which may require a return trip to the Glades, if you are up for it in time.
Of course, I need to solve it.
Well, just be careful that the Glades don't draw you in and we never hear from you either. Some mysteries are too great for even one person, no matter how determined. Again, it is a matter to approach with the utmost care. But I have every faith that I know the right people, and he nods to you, to get to the heart of these mysteries.
Happy I met you, at least someone who has a general idea of what Adriel should be.
It is always good to meet those with the proper foresight. There are too many in Adriel, and he casts a glance out to the window where you can see a corner of the Celestial Plateau where the nobles meet, and he kind of casts a glance, and he's very obviously looking over there. There are far too many who are only interested in what they can take for themselves in the immediate future, in the near future, not looking to tomorrow or months or years from now, and how Adriel is meant to continue. Those with foresight are rare, and it is my pleasure to be among those who are looking to the future, and not just for their immediate gain.
Very well, I'll take my leave.
All right, and know that you are always welcome here, Laureate, any hour of the day or night. You just have to knock and mention my name.
Thank you.
I look forward to hearing from all of you upon your successful completion of this task. All right. Then you're going down. Where are you going after? You're heading
Eventually
back to
head
Savoy's
out
place?
and just meet. If everyone's outside, I'll meet them there. If not, I'll head towards my contact.
All right. Were people waiting for Laureate, or were you guys
Well,
going to
yeah,
start
well-
heading back?
Basically, I would have walked out with Mama, who said she wanted to have a word with me.
Right. Okay.
Alphys,
Before we get to that, Everest, what did you have in mind? Are you sticking around, or are you heading out?
Oh, he headed out after he spoke with Maddox, and Maddox has confirmed that he's looking into things. He just, I'm gone, and he took off, very likely heading back to Savoy's mansion.
Okay, so you pretty much walk back to the two women and just zip going.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
I would have waited for Laureate with
Yeah.
Mama because
All right.
Laureate actually walked with me when we went to that first meeting.
All right, so you are out in like kind of the outer courtyard, so to speak, and Laureate's having her conference with Maddox, so you two can converse here if you wish.
Yep. So repeat what you texted to me, Murray.
Which one?
The thing about Talon.
Yeah, so Savoy, Now I've been up in the skies, the Azure, quite a bit, and there's three things that any good ship person will keep in mind. There's the ship they have to rely on, which with this ship we're just not sure how far it's going to get us. There's the Azure, which is as unpredictable as anything in the world, and that's part of its draw and its beauty. And there's also the crew. And without the right crew, you're just as much in trouble as you are without the right ship. Now, I don't know this Talon person, and I'm not a big fan of heading into the unknown with a ship that we're not sure about in a destination that we might get killed unless we can trust this person. Now, you seem to know him.
Well, I met him once when I first came down to the area. I sat with him and we had a conversation. He appears competent and a mercenary. So he was known in the place the bar that we were in. We did not fight side by side, but he gave me some advice, which I listened to. He was known enough that a couple of stern looks turned people away from the table that we were sitting at. So I'm willing to go ahead and deal with him.
You trust him? It's
Trust
a loaded one.
Yes, trust is earned. I don't trust him like I trust you, but I do trust that he knows how to handle himself and we're not going to be babysitting him, which was my main concern. Now, will he stab us in the back? I don't know.
If he needs to be left behind in whatever form that may be, will you be opposed to that?
No, not at all.
Just so I know how to deal with him if push comes to shove.
He treated me fairly on our first meeting, on our only meeting. And as far as I can tell, his attitude towards Hob is, you're paying me, but you're a pain in the ass.
That's fair, and I respect the working class, myself being part of it, although I do try to run a business more than just take on contracts. But regardless, if you trust him that far, I'm willing to trust him along with you, but I just wanted to make sure
that we're not going to have to babysit him. I'm not trusting that we're not going to have to chuck him off the boat.
And if we do, well, you know, the Azure is a long and beautiful place, I hear, as you go down and down.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Well, that's fine. And we'll see how it goes.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Anything else you two needed to discuss, or was that pretty much the gist of it?
That was pretty much it. And then we'll wait for Lorient. And if she's like, I got to go on my own, we'll split off. And I'll be like, where's Alvarez?
So she comes out, and yeah, the three of you are there. And what was the case? Lorient's going to split off on her own?
Yeah, after a bit, like I have a task I need to do.
Just don't be late for dinner.
I will be there. I need to get my traveling gear. I like it much better than this.
Of course, I understand.
Okay.
Before supper, I'm not sure. Well, we just finished lunch. Do I have the time to just break off and just go make sure that the airship is ready and get all of that ready for the departure tomorrow?
I'll have you escort me to the place first, to my house first.
But of course, with pleasure.
Sure, Mama. Absolutely.
Perfect. But after escorting Savoy back to her mansion, of course.
Right.
In my fine garb.
Yes, like a lady, exactly.
I'm sure your other clothing has been washed and dried by now.
I like this garb. I'm good for now.
It is yours to do with as you will.
I feel it makes me stand out like a lady should. You know?
Yes. She's got the whole nose in the air. Yeah, absolutely.
A sight to behold. I have never seen the like.
And neither have the people in the streets you go down either, because it's very rare to see someone in what is basically an evening ball gown with a mace and boots and slid up the side to the whole just had striding just dun. Yeah, it's
Oh,
just,
I'm loving the crap out of this too.
yeah. She's drawing stairs every step of the way.
I am smiling to everyone
Yep,
like I'm
yep.
royalty. It's
Exactly.
just
Got the yes, hello. Ooh, good to see you. Right. Yeah, it's just.
I know I look fabulous.
Yeah,
You missed the conversation where I was having with my sister where I said I've not had this much fun in decades. So this is where the boy is just like, I may die, but damn, I won't be bored.
All right. We're going to turn to Everest for a moment. Everest, do you take? I mean, you're not all that familiar with Adriel, to be fair. So I wouldn't say that you know the streets. And I mean, you took the route from Kendrick's, from Savoy's place to Kendrick's, which isn't all that long. Is there anywhere you wanted to go on the way, or are you pretty much heading back to her place directly?
I don't think he would want to dawdle. That's the thing. I don't think he would need to stop off anywhere. I mean, and I think if anything, we're going to stock up before we go anyway. I mean, I think he would imagine we're not going to just run off and be like, "Yep, we're fine." So I'm pretty sure he would wait for everybody before provisions were bought, because obviously the kitty is there for everyone's use.
Correct.
So he would head probably directly back to Savoy's.
Okay, just making sure there was
Still got
nothing
that
you wanted to pop
library
in.
as well. You started on that. You can probably continue all of that.
Yes. Indeed. All right, just checking in case you want to go to the Red Market or anywhere else. But no, all right, then straight back to Savoy's house you go, which is perfectly fine. Let's go to Laureate next. After you bid your farewells to Malma and Savoy, you are heading where exactly?
I'm going back to the house and figuring out an actual travel bag and my clothing and maybe armor that actually will fit me correctly and stuff like that. Maybe go see the captain again and be like, all right, I'm off again, for real this time. I need better armor.
Okay. Like
better fitting.
How better?
Better fitting and not like, I'm not pretending to be something that I'm not anymore.
Right. However, I mean, forgive the directness, madam, but I don't see you in a set of heavy plate either.
No, not a heavy.
Right.
That's fine.
So perhaps studded leather, I think, might be more your speed.
That's fine.
Okay. So you now have light armor. Let's see. I forget what that gives you. Hang on a second.
My light armor gives me. Where is that?
Do you already have it on you? If you have already have it on, then we're set.
I have a light shield, which gives me dodge, light armor, dodge.
Okay. All right. Good. And he says, do you want to upgrade maybe your shield to something a little bit more stout, or are you comfortable with that as it is?
I prefer my. Oh wait, that stout would mean my resistance would go up.
I gotta go find out real quick.
Yeah, because basically my toughness and my dodge and my willpower are all 8 right now, and resistance is 4. So otherwise, I'm just fine.
Okay, that seems pretty reasonable. Let me just double check. Hang on a second. Just gotta make sure I know what I'm getting into here. It's pretty set. Come on. Okay, flip. Stuff. Here we go. Offhand, range weapon, armor. Light armor is light armor is to dodge, plus heavy armor is plus tier to toughness.
I'll stick with the light armor then.
All right. Okay.
All right. Now just, better quality light armor. It looks nice.
Yeah, it looks better. Yes. So as befitting a noble. There you go. But certainly suitable and usable for sure. Okay, so yes, then hence outfitted, you're going to lay that out for tomorrow morning, but tonight, of course, is dinner with your sister.
Right.
Okay.
So and that's pretty much what I'm doing. Actually, they said that location they said, what was it?
The location where this Arlen Steel is?
Oh, I want to look up a little bit more about Arlen Steel. Go hit the library.
So I guess you're heading to the library, yes. Okay. Yes. All right, we will pick up with you, and guess who you find there exactly.
Well, no, the stuff that he was interested in was taken to his room, and I told him that.
Oh, that's true. So you could be there if you wished, or you could be in your room and studying there. Either way.
I mean, if you want to bring stuff back,
Unless
to
he
the
took the
library, it's fine.
books about Arlen Steele, I think he'd be interested in it as well.
Unless
Well,
he-
there's a lot of books to go through. He didn't have a chance to see everything, and Savoy would know exactly where that metallurgy stuff is.
yes.
It was a comfortable library, so it's totally up to you, Everest, where you want to be in your room or in the library. So, but that's totally your call.
I think he'd end up going back to the library, asking for more of the. Was it firewater? Was the drink?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Yes.
So
Fire.
he'd
What
be.
do you call it? Fire wine? Fire something? It was fire something. I don't think it was water necessarily. I
The
can't
really
remember.
terrible stuff.
I can't remember what I called it. It was crap. I should have written it down. I can't remember now. But yes, they have more of it on hand.
So he'd be having a glass of that, as well as sitting in still the smelly armchair that
No,
smells
no,
like fish.
the smelly armchair is no longer there.
That's
it's-
correct.
It's being fumigated. A different chair is there.
In which case, he would be sitting in that chair, hopefully as equally as comfortable.
Oh yeah.
He would be. He would have taken the pile of books from his room, and you'd see them stacked, like in a very large pile next to him, and he'd be, poring over them. Probably have several open and out in different layouts all around the library in different, looking like a bit disheveled and a bit of a mess.
Is he not treating that with respect?
Well,
Seriously? Because if
Here's
it's a mess, I'm gonna start putting shit away because that's real valuable books and history right there.
that's fair. I mean, he would be, but the thing is, he would have them out, and they would be a little bit disheveled because that's how he is.
All right. Well, then when she comes in, the first thing she does is
Well, he did have a bath, so he is cleaner now.
yes. But
So-
if he's disrespecting the books, there will be some straightening going on with some pointed looks, and then going and getting the book on the steel.
All right. All right, we'll leave you to the library for the time being. Laureate, where are you headed?
Probably best to meet my contact in the evening, just before heading over to get over to Savoy's place. So the first thing I'll do is I'll quickly just head over to the Traveler's Belt and just put 20 gold away for emergencies.
Okay, everything there seems, let's say, fairly copacetic. Let's see here.
Just check in, see how everyone's going there. See how.
Exactly. Here we go. I had to open this up because I have to refresh myself with the characters.
That's right. It was only just a quick check, and then heading over
yeah,
to.
If we're
I
doing
believe
it
I
right,
met him near the. What was the tavern called? I'm trying to remember the name.
The tavern you were at was at the dry dock.
Dry dock, yeah. So around.
Yeah, no, that's near the pier. The Peerless Pier is where that is.
So that's where I'm
It's
heading.
kind of the local pilot's place. Okay, that's where you're going. All right, so you stop by the Traveler's Belt. Everything seems fine. Let's see. Liddell was running it, by the way, and he was actually out polishing the bar because it's kind of the slow time before the evening rush comes in.
Yeah.
Greets you, and Arlie's busy sweeping the floor. Everything's fine. Anything you needed to tell them? They actually kind of look at you like, everything okay? You were gone for a while.
Talk later. Another job. Here's a bit down payment, a bit of extra money we need.
Have the pouch. Thank you. By the way, did you take the Zenith pouch back from Maddox, or did you?
Yeah,
leave
I
it
took
there?
everything back. Yeah, so I've got the bomb.
Yeah,
I've got
he wouldn't stop you. It's
Yeah, no, I
money
didn't think
for
he would.
work well performed. Exactly. He did keep the one coin. He kept the one that he wanted. He
Yeah,
kinda
okay,
left it-
so I'll take that one off.
For the rest of it, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And he looks at it and like, and did you include the Zenith with the other coins that he gave you as the reward for the crystal?
No,
pickup?
just the 50. We got 50 gold each, so I'm just putting 20 of that away.
Okay, and he hefts the pouch like, oh, fantastic. We'll put that. Yeah, he tucks it away again. I was like, well, all right, just glad to see you're safe and everything's fine. He kind of little puzzled. He basically ran in, literally, here's the gold, ran out again.
Busy
So-
as usual, and then they head out.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just they're kind of used to it, but even so, you were gone for like overnight, and that's kind of rare for you because usually like you're at home, like either in the lab or
Yeah.
kind of around the area. So this was a little different. So, all right. Okay, so you're heading over to the dry dock.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, streets are, with harvest time ending, they're not as busy as they used to be, like last week. So you really get there without any incident. And it's got late afternoon crowd. Some of the regulars, so there's like a small airship crew celebrating apparently a profitable run. They're drinking and rather boisterous in the corner, but leaving everyone else alone. So what do you do once you get there?
Probably wait. I'd probably have to order something very specific. I'm trying to remember. Just like the whatever the tell is that I have to. My contact needs to speak to me, which I assume would be something unique. Let's say I put like my cloak on the chair in a certain way that makes it look like, and order a drink, and just a cheap drink in one of the in a spot in the tavern that's hard, like that's further away from everyone, so no one else can listen in.
Sure, there's plenty of alcoves you can find. That's not a big deal. You order your drink and you wait. And wait. And wait some more. People come in, people go out. You nurse it, but after like, a half hour, you're pretty much down to the dregs. Do you order another one?
Yeah, I'll order another one. Just gonna wait a bit longer. If they don't come, then I'll come later tonight then.
Right. Nothing seems to be happening at this point in time. So you have the second drink, and now it's going on like an hour, and there's been seemingly no contact.
All right, I'll head out then, and yeah, just I won't speak to the tavern keeper or anything like that. I'll just head out.
But you do pay your bill before you leave,
yeah,
I trust.
I assume that's like 1 gold or something. So just take.
Well, you'd order the cheap drink. It's like 5. It's like half a gold, like 5 silver. So
yeah,
make you some.
I've had 2, so.
Right.
20.
Okay. And he says, "Hold up," and you give him the gold coin. He says, "Hold up, you forgot your change," which of course it's pretty much the gold which should have taken care of both of them. And he hands you back like a handful of coppers, and in there is a folded slip of paper.
Okay, I'll discreetly read it.
Inside or outside, or like
I'll
right
probably go
there?
outside. I'll probably go outside and do it.
All right. And it says, "At the Clueless Prince, dusk." And that's all it says.
Okay. So, will I have enough time to go to the dinner?
That's a good question.
I'll probably be late for it, I'd say. I'll have to go to the contact.
Well, you're going to have a few hours to kill before then, so what do you plan on doing?
I guess I could meet up with everyone.
Okay.
Wait, might as well waste time.
So Savoy was heading back to the house, and you suspect Everest was too.
I assume everyone's heading that way, so I'll just head back to Savoy's.
All right, so we'll send you back on your way. And then, Malma, you said after you escorted Savoy back to her house, you were going to head over to the ship.
Yeah, I want to check on the ship because we're about to rely on that beast.
Yes, okay. So, yes, let's see. It was at... Maddox set it up in one of his docks. So it's in a more protected area, so the chasers can't get at it as of yet. Kind of him sticking his thumb in their eye, sort of, for turning on. So when you get there, the guards who are manning the private pier look you up and down, like, you kind of look at you like, this must be the one. And you don't even need to say anything when they kind of step aside and let you pass.
Thank you.
Miss? Just kind of let her go. Wow, she does cut quite a figure, let's put it that way. So, the ship, this ship is definitely larger than your vessel, your own vessel. It's, again, like half again as large. It is a big craft.
Right.
So you're like, and so what do you want to do with it, basically?
I want to just have like a once over, and this is kind of a thing that I think Mama does most times when she's off to head on a new mission. I want to have a once over to the ship, basically go into every portion that I can see, make sure that it's in working condition. If there's anything strange about it, address it as soon as possible.
Right. So what are the anchors you have for airships?
That's an excellent question. Some really useful ones.
Well, we've got piloting, we've got weapons, and we've got repair. But I think you could only probably get 2 of those out of the 3. So, because you only have 5 points to spend. So, for those who are wondering, Marie wasn't here at the last session, so we're kind of catching her up on the fly, so to speak.
Yes.
So let me bring that up real quick.
Mama's the weapon herself. She doesn't need to be. She doesn't need ship weapons.
Well, no, she's the pilot, is what she is. So yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe we should just have Mama give her ship to Hob, and then don't tell him it's in Hawk or wherever, and just say, "Yeah, it's paid. You can have this ship." And keep
Mama is considering it.
The trade.
I think I'd like to say that Mama would go piloting and weapons, but I think realistically she'd go piloting and repairs because, again, she can do attacks, but if she's stranded without a ship, she's in trouble.
That is a good point.
And besides, she can just like throw herself with a mace at people if necessary.
Well, that is true. I'm trying to find. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong book. Hold on. I want to make sure you have that. That should be doable. I want to make sure. Let me find, because I just realized I'm in the wrong book. Oh. This one. There we go. Okay, and proof. Open up this real quick. No, not page 104. The whole thing. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Let me just open that up real quick and double check. I'm pretty sure you can do both of those. It'll take most of your points, but you should be okay.
Perfect.
All right, just 1 second, because luckily I know where it is because we just put it in recently. Blah blah blah. Notes. Here we go. All right, so airship repair is 1, airship, which actually be sky sailing, is 2, so that's 3. So you actually have 2 points left. And let's see, other things you could take is smuggling, navigation, street drugs. You can't take hearth crystals. You theoretically, if you wanted to, you could take weapons. That would be your all 5 points. You could have it in repair, weapons, and sky sailing if you wished. That's completely up to you, though.
Those would be useful thing. I'd be tempted to say the smuggling, but I mean, to be honest, Amalma has not been that good at smuggling.
I'm kind of thinking she might find navigation more her stock and trade, especially as a pilot.
Yeah, I'm thinking the navigation so she can at least find her way, because she always does find her way back home eventually.
Exactly.
So yeah, navigation, repairs, and piloting.
All right, so that's 2, 3, 4. That's the least. All right, we can leave that point open for something later then. It doesn't necessarily have to be spent at this time. Okay, good. Excellent. All right, fantastic. So, so I want you to make an airship repair roll. And of course, since it's an anchor, you can do that at advantage.
That's a skill check, right?
Correct. Let's see, airship repair we'll do under, we're going to do mend probably. That's how that's going to work. So
okay, so and then I roll again because it's
okay. So pretty close. Unfortunately, they're both above your mend skill, alas. Well, the ship actually looks in pretty good shape from what you can tell. There's nothing obviously. You guys were right. Actually, it's much better than Gilded Drake. I mean, these chasers may be a street gang, but apparently they like to take care of their airships. The crystal looks like it's in good shape, and everything's shipshape basically. It is it's a 2-masted ship, whereas the Drake only had 1, and your ship only has 1 mast. Yours is fairly small, more of a cutter, where this would be like not quite frigate size, but certainly like a sloop maybe, kind of above in those kind of weight classes. So everything seems set, and you could definitely move. You kind of, the more you look at the ship, the more you kind of find yourself liking it. Like, I could really move some cargo in this thing. It's built to haul stuff. To be completely honest with you, so it's like it would be a step up from yours for sure.
I like it.
Yeah, nothing has been done with it, by the way. It still has the chaser skull on the prow. So
that was the next thing I was going to ask. Is there anything I can do or tell the people in the docks to remove the skull or to remove some of the marking to file off those serial numbers that I mentioned earlier? Let's put it that way.
Well, the guards are here and they're not going to do that work. There's no one really here like dock workers. It's just the ship, the pier, and the guards, and you, and that's pretty much it.
Right, and I don't have is it easy enough to try to mace that thing off?
It's pretty big. You're not going to be able to knock it off without doing some damage to the bow.
I don't want.
I mean, you would need to get some paint from somewhere.
Right, that's fair. Well, I'll just leave it on for now. I mean, being out there, being thought of as a chaser isn't necessarily a bad thing. We'll scare some people away. So
Indeed.
I'm just gonna leave it on, and then I'll be satisfied that. And I can't see anything like. And I don't have necessarily the knowledge for this, but I know that sometimes there can be some people who can track ships or find them more easily, or people, or I suspect that there might be some kind of spell that people might use to do shit like that, but I'm not actually sure. Either in game or either way, I'm not actually sure. But is there anything that I might spot that might make me a little bit uneasy enough to approach one of my magic dealing friends and ask them to have a look at it?
Well, I mean, if you think back to make me an insight roll at just regular. Wow. Okay.
I'm very concerned about this.
Well, and because you're on the airship, maybe that's what gave you the critical, because you think back to what Hobbs said about a crystal, and you think back to that compass you guys used to find the other crystal. Like they had gotten a shard from it somehow, put it in the compass, so the compass led you over there. Well, you surmise if they could do that to a crystal, as you're standing in the hold looking at the crystal of this ship, if someone were to take a crystal from this matrix, they could track this ship wherever it goes to.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so like attracts like, as Hobbs said. So it's like, well, So yeah, you've got that to think about.
Right, and can I tell if if the crystal is intact? Can I tell if there's been?
I would have you make I'd have you make a knowledge check at disadvantage, because this is not your area of expertise. You can try if you wish.
I'm gonna try it anyways, just for shits and giggles, just because.
Sure. Hey,
At
nothing to lose.
disadvantage, though.
All right. Wow.
Super concerned.
Yeah. I mean, you've been, the good thing is you've been on enough airships to kind of osmosis how hearth crystals work. And with that 5, you are not sure, but you're like, if I were a member of a ruthless pirate crew that wants to keep tab of his members at all times, I'd sure probably take a section of this crystal to keep track of in case they decided to go off on their own or it was captured or something. So yes, more than likely, someone else has a shard of this crystal and are waiting to track it whenever it next leaves port.
One more question. Now that I suspect that through my great knowledge of this, is there, and I don't know if I can do this, this is like, Malma probably knows, but I certainly don't know. Is there another ship in this dock, and can I do something like swap out hearth crystals? Swap out the crystals from the ship. Just basically be like, hey, fresh take, what the hell?
You want to swap hearth crystals with another ship?
Yeah. One that I think might be less likely to be tracked, or that people admit that they can track, because I'm pretty sure this one's going to be tracked.
Well, again, you're in a private dock. There are no other vessels around, and that would attract a boatload, pardon the pun, of attention. Someone just like carrying a whole whirring hearth crystal, I got a stack full of crystals and I'm walking down the street. No, that would attract a lot of attention. So it would be very difficult to pull off.
It might also make the boat fall to, wherever.
Well, that is the case, is how you actually do the switch without losing the ships.
Hey, sometimes you got to take a risk, Okay, well, I'm going to be pretty satisfied, but I'm going to want to talk to Laureate when I get a chance, because I know she's got some kind of fascination with hearth crystals, so she might have some ideas here.
Okay. All right. So when your tour of the ship is finished and you've come to these realizations, so you're going to depart and start heading back to Savoy's house, right?
Yeah, because I'm guessing it's near supper time by the time I've.
I mean, that at the most that probably takes a half hour, 45 minutes. You're not like pouring over every scene, for crying out loud. You're experienced enough. You can get through the look see in like 15, 20 minutes. You take a look at the crystal. That's another 5 to 10 to kind of puzzle that out. And then look around like, oh crap, there's no other ships I can switch this with. Yeah, so like 45 minutes. We still got a few hours before dinner. Dinner's not happening yet. It was like high noon, 1 o'clock when you had lunch. That took an hour and a half ish. So it's like getting on mid-afternoon. So you've got time. So.
Okay, I'm gonna go find Laureate then, and see and try to talk to her about that crystal, because that's my main concern. I've got other concerns, but nothing as pressing as our safety tomorrow.
Well, you may think that. So on your way back, you are just strolling along, enjoying the sun on your face in your wonderful new dress, which is fine. Everything's still attracting every stare as you walk down the street.
Feel good about it.
Yeah, and a young man falls into step next to you, and you don't recognize him. Do you, is just walking next to you for like a few paces. Is there anything you wish to do?
Look, I'm going to talk to him because I'm very friendly.
Mhm.
Look, I know I have an awesome dress on, but it doesn't mean I'm feeling super social right now. So unless you've got something important to say, just move along, please.
He smiles a grin that doesn't reach his eyes and says, I believe you're forgetting your appointment. I'm here to escort you to a certain lady who wishes to speak with you.
Oh, yeah. No, I was heading there next.
Oh, of course you were.
Of course I was. Why else would I
mean-
be dressed like this?
I see you picked up some new finery since you've been away. So why don't we go over right now? And his tone indicates it's not really a request or a suggestion.
Well, then I'm just going to follow along, aren't I?
And he will politely like offer you his arm. Do you take it?
No, I am not taking his arm.
All right. And after a few seconds, he kind of gives that little smile again and drops it. And he's dressed in, I mean, they're good clothes. They're not like nobles clothes, but they're even, you can tell they're well made. He's not a peasant. He's not like a street person. He's not even a merchant. He's a better class than that. He does not look armed necessarily, that you can tell, although he carries himself like he knows how to use weapons, whether they're his hands or something else he might have hidden upon himself. And he escorts you back to the restaurant. This is the restaurant you came to in the Wingspan, which actually is not too far from Maddox's house. He lives near there, so it was a fairly short walk.
Oh, lovely.
Whether you pull, they were kind of watching for you or not. But regardless, on the trip over, you certainly cut that path anyways. So let's be honest, you would have been hard to find. He takes you to the restaurant, breezes right back to past the Mater D's station, doesn't even pay you any mind whatsoever, to the back, to the kitchen, to the room, the antechamber, and once again you find yourself seated, or actually standing, I should say, in the small room, and the Lady Makia is sitting there, and she looks up at you and down and up again, and she kind of, well, I see business has been good since you have last graced my presence. She's kind of, she's actually trying not to laugh and maintaining her poise with, I guess, a little bit of effort. Please, why don't you take a seat, my dear? As you are looking very well indeed.
Thank you, lady, as are you, as always.
Oh, you flatter me, my dear child. So, I understand that events transpired, things were recovered. Gelspar is still in place, with a new crystal shining its light upon all who care to cast their faces up to it.
Indeed.
Indeed. Yes. Tell me, you have now met the man himself, who would cast himself as the savior of Gelspar. What is your measure of him?
My measure of him is that he hangs out with some interesting individuals. He is well connected. He is in it for the long game, has a lot of patience, and I believe, although I certainly wouldn't let my belief change any of your opinions, that he is doing it to help Gelspar and its people, and that he actually does care for them. But that is just a belief that I hold.
A merchant clan head caring for the unfortunates. Well, that story may turn heads and quicken hearts at the Celestial Plateau for some. For others, however, it is just that, a pretty story meant to curry favor among those who would believe his gilded words. I believe Maddox is in it for himself and himself only, no matter what he may tell you. You would be wise to watch yourself around that man. He is very cunning. He is very ruthless. He will stop at nothing to get what he wants. I mean, just look at the danger he put you into to get what you desired. You could have not come back and been vanished, never to be seen again. Now, the fact that you returned speaks to your perspicacity and, shall we say, stamina, which is a good, very good traits to have in Adriel.
Thank you, lady. I take that to heart.
You said you think he's playing the long game. What game do you feel that Mr. Maddox is playing at?
Well, in my experience, most people don't do good deeds unless they want to get something out of it. And he has the connection, and he's building the networks to get either money or fame or whatever else he might be seeking, but potentially both. He seems patient enough to target the right missions, and he's willing to keep going at the same things over and over again until he acquires them. So he has a long plan, as far as I can tell. Now, what that may be, I'm not sure.
Maddox has made no secret about his desire to have a seat on the Council of Nobles. Something I am equally determined to make sure he does not have. We do not need his ideas infecting others. He is, I wouldn't say he's necessarily a cancer, but we do not need his sort of thinking swaying other members of the council. Adriel is Adriel for a reason. It has existed this wrong for many reasons, not the least of which is order. Maintaining order in the city. Gelspar, unfortunately, goes against that order. Whomever was behind this recent plot to see it fall shall certainly be brought to justice. I mean, we cannot have such outright acts of, dare I say, destruction happening under our very noses. I mean, the very thought is an affront to everything we hold dear. So I would task you with finding out whom was behind that if you think you are up to this particular mission.
Certainly. I am always up for any mission that has the correct interest attached to it, if I may be so bold as to say.
Well, what interest is it that you are looking for? I mean, there's always money, but certainly an ambitious young woman like yourself desires more. Correct?
Yes, money will only get me so far. This is an expensive land. But I may have need of some information or a favor later on, if I may be so bold as to call upon you at that time.
Well, the quality of our information has been not completely unuseful, but you will need to step up your game if you wish to keep in my favor. But do not take that as a threat, just merely I wish you to know the field you are playing on, my dear. I like you. I like your moxie. And I certainly admire your style of dress.
Thank you. My friend helped.
No doubt. But as I said, you will need to bring a little bit more. But in the meantime, she reaches underneath the table and brings out a small pouch. Consider this an advance upon that information you are going to bring me, both about Maddox himself and this other mysterious party that seems to undermine Adriel from within. That vexes me greatly, and I wish these miscreants to be brought to justice no matter whom they might be. Terrible times for Adriel. Terrible indeed. If we do not take firm steps to eradicate this blight before it spreads, who knows who might be affected by it.
If I may ask, we did encounter some individuals who seem to have some ties with the council. I may be wrong, they may have been lying, but would you have any ideas of anyone who would send rift mages after us?
No, I can't think of anyone, but you tell me more about this particular encounter, these people you stumbled upon. Where did this happen, my dear?
Silverglades? Did I get that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
And she said, what were they doing? And you kind of take a few moments to fill her in really quickly on what you found.
Then we died, and then
And then magically we came back again and tried it again, and we were successful this time.
I just dream of
great.
dying.
My
and
God!
So terrible.
You are gods! Anyway. And she kind of, by the time you're done, she's grabbing kind of her hands on the table, and she looks very, very annoyed at this. It's like, this is most vexing indeed. I cannot believe these operations are happening. First Gelspa, now Silverglades. I am shocked this is happening under our noses. This may be a matter for the order at some point. Oh, my dear. So do you happen to have any particular evidence of these people, or was it just that, except you told them that you talked to them, they attacked you, you slew them, and now that was the end of it, pretty much?
Yes.
And you slew all of them. None remain alive to corroborate your story.
Oh, well, no, it seemed safer at the time to just cut their heads off, yes.
Well, yes, I mean, if they're attacking you, you of course were forced to defend yourself, obviously.
I had this vision of them killing us terribly.
I mean, running towards the barn, I couldn't quite make it. I couldn't reach the door. It was terrible.
So horrible. I have nightmares.
Rift mages in Adriel. This is most perplexing. It may be that I may have need of you and your party to do a task for me over in Summit, but that is not for right now. Right?
Okay.
For right now, we need to find out who is behind that, because, and she kind of does the map in her head, and she's like, I wonder if they were to destroy Silverglades, which of course is attached to Gilspire, it would tear it apart and tear it from the city itself. Oh, but that could unravel the very tapestry, and it might rend the city asunder. Such a blow that way, to destroy the chains like that. This is absolutely awful. Well, I thank you for bringing me this material, this information. This has been very important. She actually adds another small sack, so now you have about 15 gold pieces that she has given you. I wish, Malva, for you to remain in my employ. I wish you to speak of no one else of our little arrangement. It is best to keep these things to as few people as possible, and right now you and me seem to be the fewest that is available, and let's keep it that way, shall we?
I can certainly do that.
Excellent. And if you wish, I have a little side mission for you. The Veneer family seems to have taken an interest in Maddox's exploits, shall we say. I understand that you are getting to know the Miss Savoy Veneer, and if you would please, I would have you keep an eye on them as well. Alliances between merchant houses are not uncommon, but at the same time, it is best for me to be informed as to the goings-on between them. Do you think you could do that for me, my child?
Now you ask something a little bit more difficult of me, lady. I do consider the Lady Savoy to be an ally of mine, and I would
certainly ask nothing so crude as to move against her. No. This is simple information. That is all. I'm not asking for the secrets of their business. I'm not asking to see their books or any such falderall like that. I just want to know, what does she plan to do with Maddox? Is the Veneer House seeking an alliance? Are they seeking trade agreements? What is their interest in doing this? That is all. I mean, Maddox and I are not, I would not call us enemies. I would not call us friends. We happen to live in the same city, and we have different goals for that city. That is the best way, I think, to put it. So therefore, anyone who seeks alliance with someone who has different goals than mine, well, I would not consider them an enemy, but then again, I could not consider them necessarily a friend either.
And will this have any downfalls for the Veneer family, just so that I know what I'm agreeing to? Of course, you understand.
Well, of course, and it certainly shouldn't. The Veneers have been long-respected merchants in our city for decades. I mean, they go back generations. I'm certain Savoy and her sister would do nothing to jeopardize their status in the merchant clans, as long as they know their place. And those words she says, which you get the impression is very serious about that particular phrase she mentioned. But this should not affect them, as long as they know their place. So, I mean, I would hate to have to expose what you may be doing. So, and it shouldn't come to that either. So, your friends are your friends and should be kept as such. However, if I have questions, I would trust that you would consider me a friend too and then answer my questions as honestly as you possibly could.
You are always welcome to ask me questions, my lady.
I know. And I trust that the answers are the ones that I like to hear.
There are ones that I can give in good faith at the time. You will certainly always receive them.
Well, then I think we are in accord. Very good indeed. All right, my dear. I think I understand it. I think you have a dinner to get to. So you should probably be on your way.
Do you even need me? You seem very well informed already.
Oh, the merchant clans are a bunch of gossiping Twitter birds. They're always updated about something or who's doing what and what dinner is happening. These little bits of information flow through the air and happen to land upon my ears. You know.
Fair enough.
But I will say that your party has caused quite a stir, not just among the people of Gilsfar, but among the merchants as well. There's very few people who are able to recover an intact crystal and bring it back. So,
and look so fashionable doing so.
Indeed, my dear, indeed. Perhaps you will start a trend. All right, then. Well, your business calls to you as mine calls to mine, so I will bid you adieu.
Thank you for your time.
That's most pleasurable, Malma. I look forward to speaking with you again.
As do I always.
All right, you are dismissed. And you take off through the little alcove, yep, and back to the kitchen. The young man is nowhere to be seen anymore. So, and I take it that you're going to head back to Savoy's home, correct?
Yep, I'm good. I'm going to head back that way now.
All righty. There we go. Okay. So, and then once there, you are looking for Laureate, who's probably back. So I think everyone is probably at the household by now. Is that correct? Savoy's back there. Everest is back there mucking up the library.
No, he's not mucking it up. He is just spreading things out, and I have anything that was mucked, I have straightened. And then I'm going to assign a servant to stay there and keep an eye on things now to make sure that anything doesn't. Yes, I would. Absolutely. There would be no doubt. And I would pick someone who I could trust, actually trust, not, short end of the stick.
I can see someone there just in there uncreasing the pages that Everest has creased, and then
fingerprints,
making sure it's
off the parchment. Yes, exactly.
Oh,
no dog earing. There's no dog earing of the parchment of the pages.
Someone here to hand you bookmarks and stuff as soon as you start looking. And if you put it to the side and it falls or something, they would grab it and.
You would see him look at the bookmark or the person with the bookmark, and he would be like, "What is that for?"
Sir, it's simply to keep your place if you're looking for another place in the book, and that way you can find it more easily. And that we have several for you to use. It's perfectly fine. It actually sounds like a stack of them there, just in case you're flipping from place to place, or if you want to pick up reading where you left off, and then you just mark it and close the book, and that way you know right away where you. And he kind of trails off as if he's like, "Am I explaining this to a toddler?"
And then he cocks an eyebrow. He would cock an eyebrow and say, "Oh," and then proceed to dog-ear the page.
Oh no! The first time you dog-eared a page, you would be talked to and told, if you would like to continue to be in the library, you will treat the books with respect. You do not disrespect that.
I guess you're having that talk now, because that's when that's happening.
Because if he directly disregards the servant who hands him a very nice bookmark, he closes the book and says, "Okay, we have to have a talk."
I love how angry Savoy is at all of this. This is so
Albus,
serious.
would you like to continue to looking through the books for information?
Well, of course.
Addressing you, buddy.
Then you will treat them with respect. We do not dog-ear the books in this house. I have a servant here with as many bookmarks as you wish. These are very valuable to me and my family. This is knowledge that is to be passed down.
I understand that. I am just marking it for easier access.
No,
What about cat ear? We cat ear the books? Is that a
no, we
possibility?
do not cat ear the books here. Do you see these bookmarks? They have different things at the top. They mean different things. And if you cannot follow our rules, you cannot use this library.
Maybe we'll rat the books later on.
Interesting. So he begins
To be fair, the bookmarks look pretty good. They actually have lines, or you can like write, what the topic is you actually marked on them.
They're like literally very thin pieces of wood that you can mark up.
Yeah.
So in this case, he would look at it. He didn't really pay it any mind when the servant was, nattering at him. But now he would actually pay a bit more close attention to the bookmark. This is interesting. And he would put the book down and he would begin to inspect the bookmark a bit more closely and probably like feel the grain of the wood.
Now,
It's very nice. It's like highly polished. It's super thin. It's like maybe 2 sheets of paper together. So, but strong. I mean, if you bend it, like it's got some tensile strength to it. So it's quite a piece of work for a bookmark.
It's one of those things that is important in my family. This is our history. This is our knowledge. This is important. Please respect that.
Very well.
Thank you.
Okay. So after you're done inspecting the bookmark, what do you do, Everest?
He would then place the bookmark in the book. He would close it, and he would be like, "Thank you for letting me look at the books, Mother. I really appreciate it."
Mhm. Well, if I have to act like your mother, then I shall.
All right,
Now-
Everest, are you staying in the might or are you going? It sounds like you might be going back to your room, or I'm just curious.
He would end up staying in the library. He would still be. I think at this point, I think he'd absorbed as much as he's going to, and he would probably drink a bit more of the fire water or fire wine, just calmly sitting there, his hands steepled.
Hmm.
All right, yeah, it's pretty much true. You've from what you can tell, you've exhausted whatever insights there are in this library to be found right now. Yeah, but the chair is comfortable. The wine is fiery, certainly, and it's all good. Exactly. I have to go back and look at the past feed to figure out what that drink was. Now I totally left my head.
Yeah.
All right, Savoy, what are you up to?
As when I am done reading up about the steel and such, and after we've had our conversation, I basically tell the servant, as he is done with the books, please reshelve them appropriately. He doesn't need to have to do that.
Of course, milady. What you find, by the way, interestingly enough, is a brief mention in kind of this metallurgy book, but it's also cross-referenced with a book on a fauna book on animals.
Wait,
And
what?
Yeah, exactly. You're like, okay, this is weird. And the entry in the metallurgy book says, for more information, see the Gravehide War Beast entry in such and such a book, which your family has a copy of.
Okay.
And you pull it down and you see this great, I mean, this thing is freaking huge. It is giganto. Probably the size of 5 elephants. It's massive. And what this thing does is its ecology is it hangs around graveyards, or I'm sorry, battlefields, where there's been a large loss of life. And it technically eats the bodies, but it eats them for the metal that they leave behind, armor, swords, shields, whatever. And its particular biology is it translates or somehow converts that metal, supposedly, and converts it into more Arlen steel. These beasts have been hunted. They're very rare. They're also very dangerous because they are super huge, and it takes often like a large party to bring one to bear. But they can be very valuable if captured for that source of Arlen steel.
So let me make sure that it makes more steel by secreting it through its skin or by...
Well, it actually, you need to kind of cut it open to take the steel out. It kind of just stays in it.
Oh, so it's like cutting open a golden goose. That's not
exactly. Or, maybe cutting open an oyster to get the pearl inside. Exactly. You can't, no one has found a way to like domesticate them, A, because they're huge, and B, just the metal. They're not even sure how much metal it takes to get the Ireland steel made. It could be like far more than is necessary.
Alvarez, are you still there? You're still in the library?
He would be. So it would be like, John, is this like akin to like metal gallstones?
It kind of, but it doesn't seem to impact them or affect them at all. It doesn't. It's just a byproduct of their chemistry, their physiology. Okay. Yeah, but you're not. The analogy is pretty accurate. Yes.
Yeah. She looks up and says, "Son, I think you should take a look at this." And she hands you the book with it open to the page.
This is interesting.
Is this something you have heard of?
This would be. I remember this. This was several years ago. I ran across this type of beast. Not one that I actually fought, but I've heard about it several times. Now, this is not something we're going to want to go unprepared for.
Right.
Unfortunately, the steel, can be tricky to obtain. So, we may need to stock up on supplies before we even bother trying to attempt this.
Indeed. So, are we talking weapons, or how do you kill one of these? Do you have any idea? Or can you harvest the metal without killing it?
John?
You have not heard of any stories of successfully extracting the metal from a living war beast.
Yeah,
not to say it might not be possible, you just don't know is the thing.
I have never heard of a successful attempt on a war beast without killing it. Now, that's not to say it couldn't happen. We might get lucky. Maybe it'll vomit and something will come up. Who knows? But
well,
I would.
Worse.
Have we?
We've been inside a skyworm. We've been inside the stomach. I think that's probably going to be worse than. Well, actually, how big? Do we have an idea of how big these war beasts are based on the book?
Well, smaller than the skyworm, but larger than any other land creature. By the way, quick shout out to Wenchkin, reading with a party of 11, which I unfortunately missed when it actually happened, but thank you very much. We appreciate you watching Emberwind with the Ember crew. This is Skies of Axia. Your worship? That's my worship is the episode, or Airship is the episode, the title of this episode. And our party is footloose and fancy free in the floating city of Adriel. So welcome aboard. Hope you're enjoying it. And thank you again for the raid. Really appreciate it. The size of these things, I mean, they're able to move under their own power on land. So, it's not like they're total. But it's, the stories you've heard, Everest, like, the exaggeration, blotting out the sun, could scoop up a dozen bodies at once in its jaws. Its claws were the size of a wagon wheel or an oxen, or, it's hard to tell exactly how big they are because it just kind of gets distorted to tell it.
But they're big. Huge.
Ginormous, yes. If you had to guess, you could, from this sketch, and there's a sketch like there's a guy and it's like you're estimating 6 to 8 maybe humans tall, so you're looking at 30 to 40 feet tall and about 70 to 80 feet long.
That will make for some fine dinner conversation or after dinner conversation.
Yes. So, any other questions or anything else that any other turns of the conversation, or I will move on. My kitty in my lap.
I think Alvarez and I now understand each other. I will be mother, he will be son. We will have a contentious, inconvenient relationship.
However it works, folks.
I'm
no
okay with
judgment.
this.
Yep.
It's all right.
It's
As long as
totally
it
your
gets shit
jam.
done that I need done, and it doesn't destroy my library in the process.
I
Won't destroy it.
guess we're creating the adoption protocols for Adriel now. So this is
Well,
Yeah,
no,
basically.
yes.
I seem to be adopting people, a bodyguard slash airship captain, well, Elvis, whatever Elvis is, and then Laureate, who's very interesting and kind of mysterious.
Indeed. Deedly deedly doodly.
And maybe this new Talon guy, who hopefully will not.
Nobody wants that guy.
No, he's in nothing but trouble.
Is he? Well, then we might.
Well, you'll find out one way or the other. So.
Okay. Well, I'm done with this. Make sure the
And
library.
it is about time to prepare for dinner. That's true.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then go change into something appropriate.
Okay, and I think Mama, you were going to talk. You wanted to find Laureate. Was that before dinner?
Yeah, before dinner if possible.
Yeah, you still got time. You think you can squeeze in a quick meeting before dinner time? Yes. So your stomach already starts to rumble from that light lunch. I don't know where Savoy is. You might have to go looking around.
Laureate, where are you?
I probably headed back to the manor, Savoy's manor, and I'm looking around for Savoy to tell her that I am probably not going to make the dinner, or I'll be very late to it, as I have a meeting.
Okay. Actually, so Savoy, as you're coming out of the library, then you will run into Laureate, so you guys can have that conversation right now.
Savoy, I was looking for you.
Yes.
I just need to tell you, I might be a bit late to the dinner. I have a task I need to do. Busy.
Task. Well, okay. Attempt to come as soon as you can. Put this on your thinking list. We may be fighting something called a war beast. So just put that in the things that you know or don't know. It's very large. It's as big as an airship.
Biology wasn't really my specialty. That was Weiss's.
Well, I'm just letting you know before we have dinner, and because this is not the kind of conversation I want to have with my family right there, because I think the children will be around. In any case.
If I don't make it, just maybe just give me the rundown of what was discussed. That'd be appreciated.
I will. Do try to come back tonight if you can.
Yep, I would definitely make it sometime tonight. Just have
And as soon as you get in, have a servant find me.
Very well.
And good luck. Be safe.
Enjoy the dinner with the rest of our group.
Yes, it should be an enlightening evening.
I heard some noises from the library. Was there something happening in there that you need to worry about?
Alvarez and I had a discussion. But we understand each other now.
Too good. Too
Don't
good.
need to be part of that.
Laureate, exit stage right.
On the way out, unless someone finds me, I just quickly speak to a servant just to make sure that my normal gear has been cleaned and is ready to get picked up.
Absolutely.
After tonight's dinner.
Right. And then are you heading back out?
Yep. Unless
Okay,
someone
and then
bumps into me.
On your way out, yes, you actually run into Mama on her coming back into the estate.
Just open up the front door. Oh, hi, Mama.
Pretty much.
Laureate, I was looking for you.
But you're like, I gotta be somewhere.
Yeah. Could this be? Is it something that we can talk about later?
You know, we
bit of
can
a
talk
schedule.
and walk. I'll walk you to your destination. Let's talk and walk, my friend. It won't take long. Won't take long. I got long legs. I can carry you if you want.
How about yeah. No, you definitely tell Laureate is like, oh no. Shit. Is it better? How about halfway?
Let's go, Laureate. Let's walk and we'll just until we're done this conversation, and then I'll leave you be with your business.
Sure. Why not?
Yes. So it occurs to me, friend, that we used that compass thing, and the compass thing led us straight to that hearth crystal because it had a piece of that same crystal inside of it.
Correct.
Correct? You know all
Correct.
your crystals. You seem fascinated by them. Now, say that our hearth crystal in our ship, which was a chaser ship, which they might be pissed at us, and they might have other ships looking to pick a fight. You know how it goes. Now, let's say that they have a piece from our hearth crystal, and then they could use it to follow us. You get my drift here?
Yes.
Negativity of this all?
In theory, yes, they could follow us. It also depends on the strength of the hearth crystal cluster that is in the ship. The larger and stronger that is, it'll be able to be tracked a lot easier by a smaller shard of it. There's also, obviously, a certain distance away, they won't be able to track us, so it depends on how far we are from Adriel. Maybe they won't be able to keep an eye on us. They just know that we head in that direction, and then they would lose track.
Were I chasers, and I was looking to gain my ship back, I would be waiting, and I knew that we were leaving town as we are. I would be waiting until we returned to find us and then perhaps attack at that point because nobody else might know when we're coming back. So it would be the best time to set an ambush. Now, out of curiosity, is there any way to stop them from being able to find us?
There are ways. It'd take a lot of work, but there are ways to shield this ability, but we don't really have the resources for that. Honestly, I haven't really been able to test. I have a theory on that. I haven't been able to test it, but it could be done.
Oh, well, maybe think about how that theory could work out. Because if not this journey, then a journey soon. Especially if we're intending to perhaps keep this fine airship that we seem to be getting a lot of business to use. I might certainly be interested in it, and I'd love your.
Well,
your
I have a feeling that the chasers won't be a problem. I think if we have Kendrick on our side, and also our agreement with them, I think they might leave us alone for now. I think perhaps later, definitely sometime after we do this task, we may have to deal with them. I think that they will eventually figure out our plan that we dealt with.
All right. Now I have another little question for you, my friend. You seem a tad bit nervous. Everything okay on your end?
It's not really nerves. It's just this meeting is private, and I would like to keep it that way if that's okay.
That's fine by me. But if you need any assistance, you need me to kind of hang around just in case.
We're not going to Gelspa or anything dangerous like that. It's just over near the Headless Prince. That's all.
All right.
Remember where we met
All right.
Elise? That's where I'm heading.
All right. I will let you carry on with your business unless you need my assistance, which you would tell me if you did, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm fine. There's no problem.
Almost a little insistent on that last part, but
A little bit, almost a flag.
leaning over a bit.
Where's that
No,
PvP intimidate check?
You know how I got mad about the books. It's just like, you would tell me, wouldn't you?
Oh.
I have concerns. That's all. Okay. I am. I'm gonna walk just a little bit further with Laureate just to let her know that I'm not that far, and then I'm gonna slowly head back.
Okay,
I may be late to the dinner, but just go on without me if I'm not there.
I will make enough fun conversation that you will not be missed, my friend. No worries. Good luck.
Try
to you.
not to drink them out of house and home.
I
You're
make
fine.
no promises. They seem very rich. They can handle this.
All right, Mama. Just out of curiosity, because I have to ask, once Laureate is out of sight, do you indeed continue back, or do you have other plans? I guess is my question.
I'm a little bit concerned with where she's headed.
Yeah, I mean, because you know, the Clueless Prince is on the edge of Gelspar, not a terrific neighborhood indeed. So, but it's your call. I'm just wondering what your plans are.
I'm like,
I mean, dusk is approaching. If you left now, you'd probably make it back just in time for dinner. So it like I said, up to you.
I have this recurring dream of Laureate being dropped.
Really?
And it's just I'm haunted at this point. I just want to make sure. I know I might be a tiny bit late for supper, but I'm finally dressed, so I don't need to freshen up. I'm ready to just stride in.
Okay.
So I'm just going to make sure that she makes it okay and she's not followed, and that there's nobody sketchy around Laureate, and then I'm going to let her have her private meeting. I'm not going to interfere with that.
All right, so we're going to do opposed stealth rolls. So, Mama, you will need to do a roll to remain hidden. Laureate, you are doing a roll to see if you detect, and based on these rolls, let's see what happens.
I fail anyway. We both.
Well, she failed hers.
too.
Now let's
Oh no!
see.
Wait, I succeed. I'm 12. I have 12
It's
stealth. I have 12 stealth.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
I am
I thought I
finally
had. I
dressed.
thought I had 8.
Well, so all right. Here's what goes on. Mama, you think you're moving quietly because anyone who's using stealth always thinks they are. That is not exactly the case, given who you are, what you're wearing, and how you're moving. So, Laureate, you notice that someone is following you, and it's fairly easy to find out who that is. Basically, how are you going to respond? It's completely up to you.
Well, I'm not.
Obviously.
I'm not gonna like try and lose or anything. I'll just turn around and quite literally just walk up. Like, well, actually, you know, I'll wait around the corner, and then as soon as like I'll use a corner, like I'll use a turn off, and then I'll just wait there for her to come around the corner, and we'll just like bump in.
Tap.
Yeah.
So, Mama, you're like sneak. I'm doing a really good job. And then you round the corner, and there's Laureate with her arms crossed, like,
Oh, Laureate! What a pleasant surprise running into you!
Savoy's
What
place
will you
is
think?
back that way.
Oh, is it? I
Yes.
just around these places. If it's not on an airship, I have no idea where I'm going.
Hey, Mama is new to Adriel. Absolutely. She just must have gotten turned around. That's exactly what happened. Yes. Lee.
Which way did you say Savoy's home was?
Back down the main road that way.
Oh, that way.
I understand you may be
You can easily
concerned.
see the hill it's on. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, you look at it, you're like, yeah, over there, Laureate says.
Listen. This is personal request. Just please don't follow me.
A personal request. This means a lot to you that I not follow you.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, like, you're comfortable that you're gonna be okay.
I'll be fine.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you say not following you, just to be really clear, if I get lost again and I come across a corner and you're there, this doesn't mean I'm following you necessarily. It's just navigating cities is terrible. Give me the Azure any day of the week. You can just fly in that sucker with nothing in your way except a few, you know.
How
other
about you
ships.
just wait here and I'll meet you back from the Clueless Prince, okay?
But aren't we going to be late for supper?
Well, well, I already said I was going to be late. I guess you're going to join me in being late, but I don't want you to meet the person I'm meeting.
I get it. I don't necessarily want to outshine you in my outfit. So, I understand your concerns. Tell you what, I'm going to head back to Savoy's, and I'm going to go have a fine supper there. I don't want to insult her family, but I will come back here. If you're not back within a couple of hours, I will come back, and I will not necessarily make myself known. I'm very good at being stealthy when I want to be.
Oh, I understand that. You
Yeah,
can,
but I will, Yeah.
You can, let's say, deal with the fish if I don't come back.
You never know when the fish will attack, so you just be safe, my friend. Be safe. And I'm gonna fist bump Laureate.
Just like awkwardly go.
She's like, what is it? What is this? Yeah.
And I'm gonna walk back.
I'm
towards
intentionally
Someone.
watching her leave this time.
I'm looking back like, oh.
And just
That
every time she
way.
turns around, I'm like, okay.
That way, right? That way.
Yes, that way. Yes.
I got it.
Should have called this stealth and stealth ability. Oh my god, so funny. All right, delightful, absolutely delightful. All right, once she is out of sight, and Laureate still waits a couple more minutes just to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
I take it, Mama, you are slowly heading back toward the house.
Well, I'm pretty excited about the fact that I've got this pretty dress on. I want to make fine conversation. I'm very good at that.
Yes.
And just be friendly to people there.
Okay. But you're heading back to Savoy's estate,
I am
right?
heading back to.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, you will be able to reach it again without incident. So Laureate, let's tackle you, and then I think we'll head off to dinner. Is how that's going to happen. Actually, you know what? We're going to switch that around.
Yeah, do the other one first. I'll
as
set
you
up
come
the
back
image for the
from-
Headless Prince as well. So.
Well, I've got a break point anyway, so that's fine. But Mama, as you come up, a servant kind of rushes to you when the door is like, you're here. We've been, my lady, we've been looking all over for you. Dinner about ready to be seated. If you'll please come with me.
Certainly.
Yeah,
I like to
fine,
make
okay.
an entrance.
We have to request the kind of points around your back where you notice you still have the mace slung. It's like those aren't allowed at the table.
Don't worry. It's an accessory. It goes with my dress.
I must insist, lady.
Well, this is going to be awkward. But I must insist that it goes with my dress. Lead the way, kind sir.
He brings you to the outside the dining hall and says, wait here so you can be announced.
Ooh.
Savoy, where are you at this point?
If I'm already supposed to be at dinner, I'm in the dinner, or I can conveniently be coming down the hallway.
You'd probably actually already be in with your sister to receive people. So, and a servant comes into a side door and kind of comes to you and whispers in your ear, we have a slight problem.
Yes.
One of your guests is refusing to relinquish her hand weapon.
I look at my sister and I said, I told you it was going to be interesting. Now, what would you like me to do?
And she's like, well, we can't have people brandishing weapons at dinner with nobles. I mean, there are several people who wish to meet the heroes of
You told me it was family
Gelsvar.
only.
Word
You
gets
told
around,
me
my dear.
it
I
was
know. Look,
family.
I know. There are certain people you do not say no to. You know this.
Well,
I do.
then can she put it next to her once she sits down? She is going to be guarding me.
We have, my dear, we have plenty of guards. What is a noble going to grab a shrimp fork and stab you in the throat?
No. She takes her job very seriously. She is not of our world. I will have a
She's not of
word.
our city. Look, I will allow her to keep a concealed weapon of some kind, but it's a two-handed mace, madam. This mace cannot be allowed at the table.
Can it be put up against the wall where she can see it?
No, Savoy, I have put up with your eccentricities for many years. However,
right,
I have to draw the line. There is it would be, and this would be an insult to the other nobles if someone was to bring open steel at the table.
Right.
We're aware this would be a big breach of decorum. So
All right, I will go have a word with her.
Thank you.
I get up, I put my napkin down and everything, and then I walk out. And I'm like,
And Mama is there in all her finery.
Hi, Savoy.
hello. We have a small problem.
Oh, is the shrimp turned bad?
No. Do you have any other weapons other than the thing on your back.
It's a large mace.
The mace.
No, but I can get more if you want.
Can you put your mace away and put something that is concealed?
Oh, I understand. Discretion is
Yes.
my middle name.
I wouldn't. I mean, you could probably fight all of these people without any weapon. But is it possible that we can have that put in your room for this time?
I've got this, Savoy. I understand your concern. I'm going to pull off the mace from my back and then sling it under my dress. hooked to my belt under there, and then kind of ruffle the skirt around it.
All right, hold on. Sit in that chair.
Oh, wait. Mama, make me a sleight of hand roll.
Sleight of hand roll. Okay.
Oh, God.
Well, it is hidden. You can't, at first glance, amazingly, you can't tell it's there.
It's a very fluffy skirt.
It's a very, you've got like petticoats and undergarments, and it's like lost in there. And honestly, so you're like, I can't believe she just did that. But seriously, standing up straight, you can't tell.
You sit on that chair without banging it.
But of course, and I demonstrate in the most ladylike posture I have ever done in my life, with my beautiful Captain Pirate boots.
Make me an athletics roll to do it without actually banging the chair. By the way, Mama, didn't your character have a last name? I forget.
Yes, she does.
What is it, real quick?
Good question. It's another piece of IKEA furniture. I can't find it immediately, but you can just call me Mama Billy, because I remember the Billy's line at this moment.
Billy. Okay. All right.
There we go. Okay.
Did she make the?
She didn't make that, so it did kind of clunk, but it wasn't terrible.
I'm gonna look a bit embarrassed and just fluff my coats on my petticoat a bit more.
And it's still hidden.
Yes, it was still hidden. It was still hidden. She couldn't prevent it from making the noise, but it was still hidden. You couldn't see it. That's correct.
All right. I turned to the servant. You didn't see that. I didn't see that.
I saw nothing, milady.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and go back in.
Yes.
Give it a count of like 10 or 15. And I will... She has told me she will put it away.
Yes. I do not see it anymore, therefore it is put away. Yes,
absolutely.
Discretion is a better part of servant's valor as well. Yes. Okay. All right, so you head back in. Sister kind of gives you an inquiring look.
She said she would put it away.
Very good.
And I trust her to do it. And then I go
of course, yes. And then the servant opens the door. That's Lady Malma Billy's, and you walk inside and give me another athletics roll to make sure that you don't knock the mace into your knee or something.
Oh, please. I am really
yes. She kind of looks like she's favoring her. Which side was it on, your right or your left side?
I put it on my left side, so I can grab it with my right hand.
She looks like she's maybe favoring her left side a little bit, but overall, it passes casual examination. Let's put it that way.
Well, she is kind of a scene anyway.
Well, yes. She makes an entrance. Let's put it that way. Whether she had a mace up her skirts or not. So
big clumpy boots along with it. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
And your sister raises an eyebrow and kind of turns to you and interesting indeed. All right, Lady Billy's, please sit at our table as our honored guest.
Oh, thank you very much. And I just extend my hand to everyone in the area and reintroduce myself,
including the servant too.
Including the servant. I'm just really happy to be here. This is great. Thank you so much. I love your dress. It's nice.
Well, thank you. Yours is quite unique.
Thank you.
Who did your alterations?
Oh, Savoy helped me with the alterations, actually. Thank you so much.
Well, my sister has hitherto unforeseen talents. Okay. Well, please relax, be at ease. Some water, some mulled wine, perhaps, something stronger.
I'll take all of that. And I just lean back in my chair. Elbows
by
on
the
the
way-
table.
Who else is actually at the table right now? Have the other guests arrived? Or
Everest is being summoned, and let's see. The other
Oh,
guests
I-
haven't arrived yet. They're coming from their estates, so they haven't quite arrived. So,
yeah,
so she's a
Lorient
little
will be
early.
late.
I'm sorry.
Lorient will be late.
Oh, is everything all right?
She has a task. She don't know.
Okay. Brahms, were you still at the library? I forget. Or did you head back to your room, right?
No, we were still in the library when,
Okay.
Because she had left to attend to.
Preparations for dinner, yes. So
Preparations
eventually
for
a
dinner,
servant
yes.
comes to summon you to dinner as well.
He would go grudgingly. I mean, it
Of
would
course.
be he'd understand at this point decorum with and mother's he wants to earn mother's undying respect. And
Of
I've
course,
just
of
broken
course.
I've just broken John. Sorry, everyone.
Oh my god, I'm
Whole
mother.
thing here.
How do I always end up being the mother of every freaking RPG group?
I don't know. It's yeah. So yes, you kind of trudge along like, oh boy. All right, I'm still full from lunch. But yes, you are brought inside. Savoy is there. Mama's also there, sitting a little oddly, but not too much more oddly than you've seen her sit on other chairs. So nothing really too obscure there. And yeah, Laureate is not here. And there is her sister. They have a brother whose name I don't quite recall.
Devin.
Devin, that's it. Yes, the introductions are made all around, and then and then some other nobles kind of start flowing in, and we make some introductions. No one really memorable. I mean, they seem to be minors until the last person arrives, and the servant announces, "Lords and ladies, honored guests, Lady Pandra Makia." And the Lady Makia walks in and takes a seat at the other end of the table from the sister who's at the far end, and says, "I thank you for this quick invite, but of course, once I heard that the heroes of Gelspar had returned, I simply had to see them with my own eyes. And may I propose a toast to these gallant adventurers and what they have done for our fair city. Everyone, raise your glasses, please." And everyone is very quick to raise their glass as well. "To the heroes of Gelspar," and hail, hail, and cheer, cheer. And yeah, we're going to stop right there and move to the Headless Prince and Laureate's meeting. So, Laureate, you get there as dusk, as the sun is just starting to dip over the horizon. So you're like right on time after the little delay with Malma.
Mm-hmm.
So the place looks, I mean, fairly deserted. There's a couple of shopkeepers. It's still hoping to catch maybe one more customer before packing it in for the night, but otherwise, not a lot of activity. And you kind of think back, as like only 2 days ago, you met Elise and went on that crazy adventure to save Gelspar, and here you're now back again for an unusual reason, indeed. So, so what do you wish to do once you have arrived?
I pretty much just go straight to the statue, the headless statue, and I look around to see if I can spot him.
So you're gonna try to wait casual, basically?
Yeah, just wait casually.
Yeah, but not look like you're waiting, exactly. So, yeah, you don't, not much. You kind of sit there for a few minutes, all right? And nothing's really going on. There's really no one even entering the square right now.
Yeah, just waiting for like to be the least amount of traffic as possible before checking the alleyways around, see if he's in one of them.
Okay. Give me give me a focus roll, please.
Bam, success.
Wow, more than, isn't that a critical for you?
No.
Oh, okay, but still very, very well done. All right. As you're looking, checking the alleys, and there's nothing there besides the usual kind of, let's just say lower class people that populate the edges of Gelspar. But as you're you put your hand, like you're kind of resting against the base of the Headless Prince, the Clueless Prince, and you put your hand down and you feel like a crack in the stone that feels like something like another slip of paper.
Grab it.
Okay. And pick it up, and it says, second shop stall from the left.
All right, follow the instructions.
Okay,
over.
you're wandering over. This one is a purveyor of, well, I mean, you think it's some kind of meat. Not really sure what kind. Doesn't smell very good, but it might be edible. You're just not really sure. The purveyor looks fairly nondescript. You don't really, I mean, it's not like you've ever seen him or her before. It's a him. You haven't seen him before. It doesn't, no one you would recognize off the top of your head. So
is it a stall front? Is it an actual like hat building, or is it?
It's like a stall. Like you would trundle
Okay.
along, you'd park it at night, you'd bring it back
Yeah.
out, kind of their version of a food truck.
So I'll just like knock on it
Well,
discreetly.
it's an open stall.
Oh,
It's
okay.
actually, I mean, like
So
he says behind it, you sit in front of it.
I'll like stand in front of it and just like just put the piece of paper down on the counter.
Yeah, you're looking to buy something?
Think I'm supposed to meet you here?
Looks at the paper. Why? I mean, I'm selling meat.
My apologies. Must be someone's played a joke on me, and I'll just like kind of snatch the piece of paper and just walk off.
Hey, now, hold up. Come on back.
Yes.
Well, I can tell you, hey, first of all, you're too scrawny. You need some meat on your bones. So, I tell you what, take this cut. Thunk. Waves off a couple flies. You pick this up, take it with you, and that'll be 2 gold pieces. And you'll be on your way.
Fine. Okay, I'll pay him 2 gold. That's puts me down to 27.
You have a slightly rancid cut of meat you're taking with you.
Let me just put that in my inventory. A rancid cut of meat.
Hey, I said slightly rancid. There's a
Slightly rancid.
Yeah.
Ever still has the cheese.
Yeah.
No, I'm just cleaned out.
Just use the bread, you'll make sandwiches.
And no. It's he's got it in places. He's got it in places.
Oh dear. Oh
Oh
dear.
boy. I'm not sure. Maybe that's what that unique.
There isn't
odor
like
is
some
from.
kind of
No,
hidden piece of paper in the meat or anything like that. I just like.
Well,
Give it
it
up.
would have been. What are you doing? Are you examining it?
I mean, of course I'm going to examine it before I pick it up and take it with me.
Well, I mean, you can't. Okay, I guess the question is: are you examining it in front of the guy, or are you examining it somewhere else?
I'll probably do it in front of him, just to see if it's a. I won't if it's like a secret message or anything. Like that, I won't like take it out. I'll just notice that it's there and then take the piece of meat with me.
Okay, yeah. As you poke at it gingerly, you see there is a slit cut in the side, and it looks like there is yet another waxed piece of paper inside the meat itself.
And I say to him before I take and leave, say this is probably worth 1 gold.
Yeah, but you paid 2, so I'm packing up and you're taking the meat, so everyone wins. And he starts packing up his stall.
Yeah.
As if, get the sense he was definitely waiting for you, and now he's done.
All right, so I'll take it, go back over to the statue and kind of like pull open the message.
Okay, and there's just one word written on it, and that is dry dock.
No, it's just they're checking to make sure I'm not being followed. Fair enough. All right, so head back to the dry dock, and at least we'll use the meat for something. I'm sure there's some kind of use.
Well, you're certainly attracting a couple of scrawny dogs around that would be interested in it.
Yeah. In case there's any barking, I can always just chuck a bit at him.
Yep. Give me an insight roll real quick.
Yep, success.
Yeah, you're drawing several of them from all across the commons, basically. I mean, a couple is like no big deal, but this is now like 5 or 6 of them are kind of trailing you. And they look
no.
rather intent on you and not anyone else because you're still holding this like big hunk of meat in your hand.
All
So,
right.
I mean, I'm just letting you know. You
Yeah.
do the
I'll let them
information
follow
what
for a little bit, and then I'll like chuck it down an alleyway just so they can
Yep,
run off
they
down there.
zip veer off and go at it, and you hear little snarls and snaps as they kind of fight over it. All right, and I assume you're on the way to the dry dock.
Correct.
Okay. Now this dusk, it's much busier here. So you come back in. What do you do?
I it's probably because it's really busy there. I'm just going to find the nearest. I'll get a drink first from the barkeep. Just say, well, hey, I'm back. Same as usual, and give him a bit of money for it.
So you are. Slides across the water, a little bit of watered wine down. So, yep, you're back.
And I'll look for any table. See if I can notice my contact anywhere before I sit down in any available spot.
As the bartender turns away, someone slides up to the previously empty stool next to you and sits down and kind of hunkers down like, good, you can follow directions.
Are you worried I was being followed?
Can never tell on Adriel. Just drink your drink and look straight ahead. Yeah, it's always better to be careful. Nice bit with the meat, by the way. The dogs were a good distraction. So what do you have for us?
First things, can you get the chasers off my back?
We can try. We can't be too obvious about it, though, because they have tendrils all over the city. Too much attention drawn to them draws it to us, so we can't have that happen just yet. So you're going to have to... That's a weight you may have to carry for a little while, friend. We'll do what we can, but I can't make any guarantees. Best bet is to figure out a way to get them off yourself. But like I said, I'll inquire and see what can be done.
I can't do this unless I see the head. I want to see the leader. I want to see him now.
You can want. We all want things, friend. You can want whatever you want.
You're asking me to do more than what I originally was tasked.
The merchant quarter, but I'm not going to get it.
You asked me to do a task. I've done it now. However, I've got more information, and I don't want to pass on to you. I want to speak to him, whoever he is. A meeting tonight, right now.
Well, that's not possible. First,
make it possible.
Okay. Best watch who you're talking to, friend. You're really in no position to bargain here.
Well, if you don't want my information, I have some pretty delicate information I was able to overhear while in Kendrick's manor.
In the manor, were you? Did he have you? What? He have you over for lunch? Did he?
Yes, he's already taken a liking.
He actually said that as a joke, but when you replied seriously, he's like, "No shit." Okay, look, I can't take you to the leader because I have explicit orders not to. I can see if someone who I report to is willing, on short notice, to meet with you. That's like a street vendor asking to see the frickin' merchant's quarters, for crying out loud. You don't get to see everyone right away. So stay here, drink your drink. I'll see what I can do. I make no promises again.
I'll wait right here.
Damn right you will. He slips off the stool and is gone again. Meanwhile, back at dinner. So the nobles are all kind of, these are merchant class, so they're kind of awed and impressed that Makia has shown up to this dinner. And they cast also several glances at Savoy and your sister as well. It's like, wow, they know her. That's pretty impressive. So dinner starts a little subdued to the like soup and salad courses. What is everyone doing while they're being served?
I'm chatting really friendly to anybody who's near me and telling stories about my ships and some crazy adventures I've had, probably some inappropriate stories, and I am just guzzling down the wine and drinking the good food, and table manners not my forte.
Okay. Well, luckily, it seems like the person seated next to you is a cloth merchant who leads a fairly sedate life, so they're kind of hanging on your every word. So, in fact, if depending on if they're not going to stop you, you're kind of going to take over most of the conversation. So
I let this happen. I give my sister a look. If she doesn't give me a high sign, I just let her go.
She's taking her cues from Makia, who seems content to kind of preside quietly and let things happen, let things unfold. So your sister's going to she kind of nods back in that like sisterly communication you have. And it's like, yeah, we'll let this go until something happens.
Okay.
And Makia does bring up a point at one point. She says, because there's an empty seat at the table, of course. She says, I was understood there were 4 members of this intrepid band, and yet doing the count, I see only 3. Is one indisposed or unable to join with us tonight?
Lorient will be late.
Oh, that's a pity. That's the young, isn't that the young the acolyte, the student from the academy who had that business with the Silverglades a few years back? Isn't that's her, right? I mean, she's still around. She cuts quite a figure in her own way in the city. I am curious, Savoy, how you two came to meet.
Oh, I was out walking one evening and she was there. We struck up a conversation. Then our friendship blossomed from there.
Indeed. Enough for her to cast discretion to the wind and cast off into this hell-bent adventure of yours. You must be a pretty fast friendship indeed.
Occasionally I can be persuasive, and occasionally I can attract the most interesting people. And
that, my dear, I have no doubt. No doubt.
So actually, out of character, Everest, did you actually try to kiss my sister's hand when you came in?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Did the whole bow thing, that kind of dealio?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have enjoyed
Finally.
my time with both Everest and Mama, and actually also with Lorient. We have honestly, I've had kind of the time of my life recently.
Well, I mean, of course you have. Going out to recover the Gelspa crystal. That's quite an adventure for most anyone's lifetime. I hope you will be able to regale us later with a tale of how that happened.
Well, I mean, obviously I can't tell.
That is for after dinner. Let's turn us to more mundane matters of Adriel and things such as that. So, you will regale us with that a little bit later. But when all of you are assembled, I look forward to hearing the story from each and every one of you. Yes. She then turns to the noble on her side, who appears like awestruck at being addressed by Lady Makia, and they're student conversation about some such end of harvest festival, I guess, harvest fair or whatever. So yeah, and the conversation kind of devolves into each people around the tables doing their own little thing. So Everest, once you are there, you greeted the host appropriately, and she's, pleased and bids you to your seat. And then, what are you doing? Anything of import, or just kind of eating or observing, or neither, or both, or what?
He's an observer. He's not a huge talker. And he'd be not daintily, but he would be eating slowly, kind of just picking at things, trying different things, drinking, and then observing everything going on, and looking to see if there's anything out of the ordinary that maybe, might be transpiring.
Okay, and I assume kind of your general demeanor sort of doesn't really invite conversation, shall we say?
Yeah, no. Okay. Somebody with, skin torn up, tattoos is not exactly, people would be giving him looks, I'm sure, but he's not actively looking to respond to that particular,
Right. So a couple of like desultory kind of conversational gambits that you kind of grunt or with one-word responses, and then the guests on either side of you kind of turn to their other party members. So to other members of the dinner party. So you and Mama are sticking out each in your own way. Let's put it that way. So indeed. Okay, so Lori's definitely going to be late. All right. So on that note, let's see. Dinner proceeds fairly smoothly. At one point, though, a servant comes into Savoy and your sister and says, begging your pardon, ladies, we've received kind of an oddly urgent message that it was pressed upon us to be delivered with all due haste. So, but it's to not one of you, it's to a member of the party here, and I don't know what you want us to do about it.
And who is it to?
And he nods at Everest.
By all means, give it to him. I mean, I kind of give a look to my sister, but I'm like, there's no point.
She's kind of like,
I mean, then give it to him. I know it does break the normal decorum, but if it's urgent.
That's what the deliverer said. So, by your leave. And he goes and kind of hesitantly taps you on the shoulder, Everest. Sir, and he has a small tray, a covered tray. He said, this arrived for you at the main gate? Do you uncover it?
He would uncover is it a cloche? I didn't hear what you had said.
It's a covered tray. So it's a small silver tray with a cover over it, that's all.
Okay, so he would go ahead and uncover that particular.
Okay, kind of attracting a little bit of attention because of what's going on. On it is a small rolled up scroll tied in a rough piece of cloth. I mean, really rough, like might be a blood-stained piece of cloth. And some of the other members are like, what I say, what is that there? What do you do?
He would proceed to, pick it up, and he wouldn't care. I don't think he's not the type to care, what that looks like, and he would just proceed to unwrap it.
Okay, so something falls onto your plate. As you see, there are words on the parchment that has been given to you. So, do you look at what fell on the plate, or do you read the words first?
Words first would be read.
Okay, and it says, a gift from the grinder. Understand you're looking for a particular lady. Well, good news. She's looking for you too. I wonder who's going to find whom first.
Oh,
And that's all it says. And you look down?
Yeah, he would look down.
On your plate is a strand of white hair that has not been cut. Instead, it has been pulled out by the roots and is still bloody at the end. And you don't need to do any magic to know whose hair this is.
oh my.
And on that note, I think we will we'll call it for the night. Yep. So, message received, I think.
Oh my
Yep.
god. So I can already see I'm gonna be like, Mama, tell us about that time you did that thing.
I'm telling you.
That's the first thing I'm gonna do.
Yep. So, well, it'd be interesting to see what Everest's reaction is going to be next
Well,
time. He's got a
assuming
whole week to
Everest
think
has a
about it.
very bad reaction or immediate reaction or whatever, if it's nothing more than folding everything up and putting it gently away, which I totally cannot see Everest doing, then I will be like, Mama. If he does,
Oh, I've already got the response worked out. Don't worry.
okay.
All right,
It'll be
excellent.
fine. When I say fun,
It's fine. It's fine. Yep. Exactly. All right. That was episode 7 of
Oh my god, this is so bad.
Stealth and Stealth Ability. I have to rename that. We have to rename this episode. That's just too good. I want to thank members of the Ember crew. I want to thank the stream, everyone, for tagging along. Again, we're playing next Thursday, so if you want to see what's going to happen next, tune in. Same time, same place. Let's see.
What?
Let's go around to the various folk before we sign off.
Next Thursday, right?
Next Thursday. Yes, Thursday. Exactly. This is not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Zoom. There we go. All right, I'm going to start for the far side. Marie, welcome back, first of all. Glad to have you. What did you think of tonight's session and Moma's little skullduggery and looking around, and tell the folks after that who you are and what you do and where they can find you.
I enjoyed tonight's session. I very much enjoyed the outfit that I was put into last.
I'm happy.
When it's like, I really feel like you all really understand what I'm going to do with Mama. It's beautiful. Thank you. No, I really enjoyed it.
You really need to go back and listen to that episode.
Yeah.
I'm going to. This is going to be beautiful. I can tell there will be tears of joy. But I
was delightful, but no less delightful than having you back. So we're really happy that you're back, and Mama is under full control again. Absolutely. So yeah.
I'm here. I'm here for you guys. No, I'd missed it, so I'm really glad to be back. I missed you guys last time. It was fun to play.
Okay, great. And then you are who you are, what you do, and where people can find you.
Marie Bilodeau, author and professional storyteller. You can find me online at www.mariebilodeau.com, on Twitter, Marie Bilodeau, on Facebook, Marie Bilodeau, on Instagram, Glitter Bomb Bilodeau, because Marie Bilodeau was taken because I was slow there. And that's where you can find me. Come play.
Another Marie Bilodeau. That's interesting. Yeah.
I know, right? And I met the woman who got it too. I met her at a convention in Quebec, and we had words.
No.
She's like, "Oh, you're the one." Yeah. Oh, yeah. I told her. I said, "You."
Oh,
Anyway,
that's
it
funny.
was bloody. I can't talk about it.
I thought you were gonna say it's like there was this thing. We had swords. There can be only one.
Yeah, exactly.
My lawyers say I shouldn't speak about it, especially not publicly. So
I would think the world could
That's
only
fair.
handle one Marie Bilodeau, so I'm
Yeah.
going to be honest. Well, thank you, Marie. It's great to have you back. I look forward to many, many more Mama adventures as we
Ditto.
move forward. Saad, next, my redoubtable IT person. Thank you very
Hopefully
much for
everything
handling
went
this read.
well.
Fantastic, as
Yeah.
always. By the way, it's a little late for me.
It's going to be interesting what's going to happen. Yeah, hopefully everything went well stream-wise,
Okay.
guys in chat and who were watching.
I didn't see a lot of problems, so everything I think was fine.
Yeah,
So,
everything seemed good, which is nice. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Laureate coming up.
kind of left her hanging at
Yeah.
yep. So we will see. But
Laureate's
no, good,
working
little-
multiple angles.
little cloak and dagger stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's very, very good. So
So
for a druid, you're a pretty good spy, apparently. So
it's not really spy work, though. I mean, like, I'm not trying to impersonate anyone or anything like that. I'm just being myself.
you're still currying information and favor and
Yeah.
everything. So this will be interesting to see how this progresses.
And the reasoning why and all that, no one knows, which is good.
Mhm.
And but yeah, it's been fun. I'm so happy that Malma's back and you got to have a lovely interaction there.
So good. Almost gonna have to work on her stealth a little bit more.
Yeah. Next time, maybe you shouldn't keep those boots on. Next time, find something a bit
you know,
quieter.
in the air, it's easy to be quiet. I'm just saying. It's land shit.
Everyone thinks they're moving stealthily. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, Saad, who are you?
Oh
where
yeah,
can
so
people find
you'll
you?
see me streaming randomly on my channel, twitch.tv/slot_. You'll see me here next week for Emberwind, and then the week after that for Infinity Beyond, the special. 12
Actually, we
hours
got-
of
don't
us.
Don't forget,
No,
we got
8
this
hours.
Saturday too, buddy.
Is it this Saturday?
We have a game this Saturday and the ARFCon special. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
I
So,
forgot.
Todd and I will be back for more hijinks in
That's
the
right,
Curse
yeah.
of Strahd.
I've got to vote tomorrow as well. It's the Australian federal elections tomorrow. Woo! Wait in
Woohoo!
line to vote in the morning.
That sounds
But
totally
yeah,
exciting.
so yeah, hope everyone enjoyed the stream. Thanks, John. Thanks to all the other players, and
Yes,
see you next
absolutely.
time.
All right, on to Jennifer Brozek. Jen, what did you think of the events happening? And now that you've adopted your son, we're all very
Well, yeah, I actually really, really like that interaction between Elvis and the
Boy.
boy, especially so it's like he just pokes to see how far along he can get, and then he relents to a point. But
to a point. Yes, obviously. Yeah.
I basically, it's really interesting to see how Savoy is outside her family home, and then how she, dials it all back and tries to be a lot more proper when she's
Yes.
home. No wonder she wants to get out and go after war beasts and stuff.
Indeed.
So no, I really like that, and I like the relationships that are forming. So, and
Mhm.
so
Me too. Me too.
Lady Makia, God, that woman.
It's like a bad penny. She's always turning up.
Yes.
Exactly.
Um,
Yep.
I-
Nice tense dinner scene. Exactly.
Yes.
All right, and tell folks who you are, where they can find you, and what you do.
I am Jennifer Brozek. I'm an author and an editor. I'm on Twitter as Jennifer Brozek, and Facebook as Jennifer Brozek, and Instagram as Jennifer_Brozek, but it's mostly my cats that you keep seeing come through. In the last couple of weeks, I've had 2 books come out. The first is Iron Dawn, which is the first of a young adult Battletech trilogy. I'm leaving the links for that. And then the second is I was the editor for a brand new anthology called A Secret Guide to Fighting Elder Gods. And that just came out. So I'm actually
good stuff. Available in paperback and ebook. So you
yes, both of them. And otherwise, you'll find me on Shadow Bites, which is a Shadowrun podcast that's being run on the Violent Life podcast. So I think that's all I'm doing right now. There's probably more coming up. So
at the time, for the time being, yes, indeed.
Yep.
So all right, thanks, Jen. Always great to have you. And last but certainly not least, Brahms Balrathian playing the redoubtable Everest, who got a little bit of a surprise at dinner. So
Oh yeah, that's the best sort of surprise is, a bloody piece of hair that's been torn out by its root. Yep, everybody wants that kind of surprise.
Between the soup and the main course, exactly. So yeah,
it reminds me of the Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom scene.
Exactly.
But hey,
you wanted a lead, you got a lead. So there you go.
Oh, he's got a pretty good lead now. But suffice it to say, he does enjoy pushing Bulma's buttons. Or I'm sorry, not Bulma's buttons. I'm sorry, Savoy's buttons.
yes.
It's like quite handedly enjoys that and just likes to see how far he can go. Just because, one, because he's slightly ignorant, and then also because he likes to see the reaction.
Well, family's important, so now you know really well.
Yep.
Yes, the dysfunctional relationships we're performing here are just bring a tear to my eye. Exactly.
And then also, getting to see Mulma sit down in a chair with a mace while trying not to look awkward was also pretty great.
Yep. It's a dinner no one's going to forget anytime soon.
No.
Yeah.
Though we won't be the main attraction, I think. I honestly think Lady Makia will be.
Indeed.
Probably.
Indeed.
But you guys can find me on Leppy83 on Twitter. And you can usually just find me here right now because it's the only thing I have time to do between everything else going on in my life with new job and everything. So you can find me here. And yeah, really, that's about it. You might see me tweeting out on Twitter on occasion about this particular thing and a few other RPG nerdy things that I do. And other than that, that's about it, guys. I might be occasionally on Unmade Gaming, which John is familiar with, who also happens to be Talon. If you want to find out more about that particular character, go watch Unsung on YouTube. Shameless plug. Shameless plug, Mike.
For Mike and the boys. Yes, we had a lot of fun doing that. That's where Talon was first introduced into Axia, and so I felt it was all too appropriate to bring him into this one as an NPC. And will he have a larger part to play? We'll see. It depends on how he gets along with the group.
I don't think we'll shove him off the airship.
Probably not. So, and I am John Helfers, Radio Johnny Panda. You can find me Twitter, Radio Johnny Panda, Facebook, John Helfers. I also have a website that needs sorely need of updating, but thank you to all the players. Thank you to Ember Crew. Thanks, R, for hosting us. And thank you so much for the stream, everyone who showed up. Hope you enjoyed it again next week for the next session of Troubles in Adriel. I think it's going to be the overarching name for this. Or Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? So, anyways, thank you, everyone.
Sorry, I'm late. That's what we'll call it.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
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 Bye.